Cambridgeshire Sports.
Peterborough United at Sheffield Wednesday, League One semi-final, second leg. The famous arch is moving into view. A 4-0 lead from the first leg of the tie. It was pretty much a perfect night.
From Mason Clark, he sees Taylor in the middle. It's over here to Poku! And Posh have a third! This is remarkable at London Road. From Mason Clark finds Poku and March at the back stick. You can't believe it.
All being well, it should be a relatively straightforward evening for the Posh here at Hillsborough. Defeat, really, for Posh would be unthinkable. But football being football, well, stranger things have happened. Darren Ferguson, though, says his side are remaining laser-focused, even with their sizable lead.
It's an unusual one, going into a second leg 4 goals ahead, but our mindset's to be on the front foot and try and get the first goal, and there's absolutely no complacency whatsoever, because we know it's a really tough game, and we've got to make sure we go there and do a job.
Posh commentary, 96 FM and 95.7 FM, DAB digital across both the north and south of Cambridgeshire and right across East Anglia. On the television you can listen in Preview Channel 722 with Francis Green and Ben Stevenson.
If your side was 4-0 up at half-time, you'd expect to be home and dry. But this is Peterborough United. Nothing is ever that simple. And most Posh fans believe Fergie's side will have to continue their recent good form to finish the job tonight at Hillsborough. They do have Nathan Thompson back in their ranks. He replaces Joel Randall on the bench. Wednesday make 2 changes. Reece James replaces Aidan Flint. Lee Gregory is recalled instead of Will Bolts. So the stage is set. Wembley awaits. But for who? We're about to find out. It's Wednesday versus the Posh, part 2, right here on BBC Radio Cambridgeshire.
So here's the plan. Minimal drama, and hopefully come 11 o'clock we'll be looking forward to a trip to Wembley. Let's see how it goes.
The sound of Cambridgeshire. BBC Radio Cambridgeshire Sports.
So welcome one and all. You can hear from the noise around us, this is huge. A very, very busy Hillsborough here today. I wonder, Posh fans, how are your nerves? Some of you may have already made plans for Wembley. Some of you as anxious now as you probably were before the tie began. But this is playoff football, and as Wednesday found out on Friday, anything can happen. And in the cauldron of emotion and noise here at a sellout Hillsborough, Posh will have to be at their steely best in the Steel City to secure their place at Wembley. An unchanged starting lineup for Posh. Just the 2 changes for Sheffield Wednesday. And alongside me this evening, a man who knows what it's about to represent Peterborough United at Wembley, Francis Green.
Can't hear you, mate.
Excited for this one, Franny?
It's too loud, I can't hear you.
I was just merely asking Franny, excited for the game ahead.
Yeah, completely. It's way too loud. At least we know we're in for a good evening. The fact that it's this loud, that's for sure. But what we do need is we need the Posh players to make sure that they're not this loud, obviously backing their team. If they can get this crowd to obviously turn on the on Wednesday team and really make it uncomfortable and make the United players panic, because at the end of the day, the pressure is on Wednesday, not Posh. The pressure is on Wednesday, and we can't even hear ourselves speak. That's how amazing it is in here tonight. What an experience for the players, what an experience for the fans. And listen, the Posh players have just got to try everything possible to not get involved in the emotions, because if you get involved in the emotions, you really lose concentrating on what you're trying to do. And then all of a sudden it comes a little bit disjointed, and we don't need that. So the boys are together. Don't get involved in the emotion. Keep the basics. Deal with what's ahead of you, because it's going to be a tough ask.
3/4 of the ground singing along to Hi Ho, Silver Lining. To our left in the top stand, it's the Posh fans anticipating another historic night for their side. Posh have just come out of their huddle. They're in their away shirts, black and gold, as they say in the mixed martial arts world, befitting of a champion. And we hope we're about to witness a step to Wembley ahead of Posh being crowned playoff champions Wednesday in their traditional stripes of white and blue. Posh going to be kicking towards that away following in this first half from our right to left. It is the Posh number 8, Jack Taylor, getting us underway. Posh go long towards skipper JCH. And the atmosphere here settles down for what looks set to be, from a Posh point of view, a nervy 90 minutes. Wednesday fans already encouraging their side on. Ball's gone long, and it's Burrows that gets the block as Patterson looks to get the cross in. And a long throw. We've talked so much about how the opening 10, 15, 20 minutes, how important it is for Posh to hold their fort. As the throw comes in, Kent heads it away. Vital they keep this home crowd quiet. In it goes once again into the Posh area. Aerial bombardment seems to be the order of the day so far from Wednesday. The third attempt going along into the box. Ward managing to find Ephraim Mason-Clark, who goes down under a tackle from Reece James. Posh have the free kick in their own half. And I was just, before the foul came in, Franny, saying that this is going to be where Posh are dangerous, trying to hit on the break. So in that regard, probably quite a clever foul to make from Reece James.
Well, he's done very, very well. He's just got his body in his way, and he knows that obviously the Wednesday player's just going to steam in into the back of him. Any slight touch has gone down. And like Nathan was saying, I'm amazed, absolutely amazed, why scouts and managers don't sign pace, because defenders do not like pace. It's as simple as that, and especially at this level, pace causes all kinds of problems. And there you go, a little bit of pace nearly gets us in. And you can see with the way Posh play, we're quite happy to concede possession. We've seen it over the course of the season, because we've got some very, very quick and clinical forward players, and you know, like Wednesday, they don't have a lot of pace. And me, if I'm, you know, I was pacey, but if I'm ever facing someone who's not got pace, I'm delighted.
One area where teams have exploited Posh, though, is this sort of aerial bombardment into the area. It looks like that's how Wednesday are set up as the ball goes towards Norris's area. He does well to take the ball before Gregory can nick in there before him. But that's where Posh will be tested tonight, won't it, Franny? The aerial ball into their area? Yeah,
we don't really have anyone, you know, really, really big. You know, a lot of teams at this level do. They have centre halves over 6'4", 6'5". We don't have a lot of those, so that's where it has cost us, and that's where the likes of Norris really has to command his zones, because if he does, it takes a lot of pressure off. You know, one thing when you're playing, if you've got a goalkeeper who can come for crosses, come for free kicks, really takes a lot of pressure off, and it diffuses any momentum that the opposition have. So he's got a big job on his hands tonight, there's no doubt.
Posh have a throw-in on the far side. Wednesday, the fan base that is, has certainly brought the noise early on. It also adds a bit of a hysteria, though, when Wednesday do have the ball, as Burrows' long ball is going to be collected by Dawson, trotting past his own area as he looks to go long. Finally kicks it. And he's going to kick it all the way to the edge of Posh's area. Smith, the target, hasn't kept that in though, has he? No, linesman finally raising the flag. Wednesday thought they had a corner. It's a goal kick. They've also, and I obviously didn't count this when we were last here at Sheffield Wednesday, but you'll notice as the balls go out, the Wednesday ball boys particularly well trained. They look like Wimbledon ball boys. They're that quick at getting the ball back, so obviously a ploy from them there. The ball goes long for JCH in a bit of a tussle with a Heckway. And what's gone on there, Franny? Posh, well, the foul against Poku, and he's gone really shoulder to shoulder, and it's just as a, well, not even one of Posh's bigger players, it seemed a strange foul for the ref to give to Wednesday.
Oh, ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And the linesman's probably already told us what he's looking at. He's probably going to crumble under the pressure and give everything down that side, because that's just a shoulder to shoulder. And it's not like Poku's built like a Vander Holyfield. He's just a slender guy. He's just gave him the shoulder, and the linesman's gave a free kick straight away. So I always look at things like that early on in games when the officials give silly decisions, and interesting to see what his next decision will be.
Wednesday lining up in the area as the cross comes in. Cleared by Posh, not that convincingly. Again appeals for a foul in the area, not given, and away comes Ephraim Mason-Clark. A deliberate handball from Palmer, and how is that not a booking? The referee blows his whistle. Palmer is now ignoring him. Referee, well, the whole officials really need to
he's got to book him,
surely.
Well, he's got to book him. He's definitely going to book him. Of course, he's definitely going to book him.
Well, the Wednesday fans can boo all they like. Ephraim Mason-Clark was down, and he just deliberately put his hands on the ball. Posh being forced back slightly because the ball wasn't in the correct position for the free kick to be taken. But the frustration of whistles around us tells you all you need to know about how Sheffield Wednesday fans are enjoying the opening 6 minutes here at Hillsborough. Ball towards JCH. He does win the header. Now Norburn getting second ball. And Posh have it in Wednesday territory. Burrows, he's pushed as he passes the ball to Ephraim Mason-Clark. Wins the throw for Posh. The Wednesday crowd quick to complain whenever a Posh player is taking their time. It's with Taylor. Jack Taylor gets his head up, scores the opener, of course, in the first leg. This time, though, not able to make progress. Gets the ball back and has opened up his body to beat his man. Posh in a slight retreat. As the ball now, they're pressed all the way back to Norris, who once again is taking his time in possession of the ball. And the press for Wednesday's done well. Patterson looked like a cross, but in the end almost shaped it like a shot. Overhit it over the Norris goal. And you've got to give it to the Wednesday crowd. They've not had actually a lot to cheer about, Franny, but if you were listening at home...
Yeah, they're very, very loud. And we've got a few just right behind us. And you can hear them, they're very... I mean, the best thing that can happen for Posh is they get a goal and completely change this crowd, because they're going to be shouting, they're going to be going, they're going to be on the ref, and the ref's got to keep his calm to not make any decisions based on emotion. And the Posh players have really got to just get hold of the ball. But at the moment, it's even though Wednesday have not had any massive chances.
Here comes Wednesday, tackle on the edge of the area.
The penalty.
I think it's inside, and it's Joe Ward who has given away a penalty 7.5 minutes into the game. Exactly what Posh didn't want. Oh dear, oh dear.
Okay, well, he needs to score it at the end of the day for us to be worrying yet.
Can't really argue though, can you, with the decision?
No, it's a penalty.
Running.
It's a penalty, and what they've done is comes from Norburn. Norburn misjudges the bounce, and the bounce is over his head, and then they get out because they're on the back of our midfielders. And then at the end of the day, there's a lot of pressure on him at the moment, and we know Morris is very nimble on his feet. So at the end of the day, until that ball goes in the back of the net, you've still got an opportunity, but we can't have no grumbles with a penalty. It's poor in the end, very, very poor.
So it looks like it's going to be Smith. Michael Smith, 31 years of age, 17 league goals, sends Norris the wrong way from the spots. And although Posh have a 4-0 advantage, one of those goals has been chalked off, and the Wednesday players and crowds smell blood. At Hillsborough, 8 minutes on the clock. The start we didn't want. It's Wednesday 1, Posh 0, 4-1 to the Posh on aggregate.
Well, they've got to keep their head now. They've got to keep their head for the next 5-10 minutes, because they are really, really going to go for it. There's no doubt about that. They've gone for it so far. Well, all of a sudden now you're going to see another 10%.
This place is rocking. And so are Posh, it has to be said, as Norburn is now displaced in midfield. Not for the first time a Wednesday player trying their luck from distance. That one from halfway.
Well, Norburn's got to liven up. Sorry, Ben, for putting in that. Twice now he's been caught on the ball. He's got to liven up. He's got to realise what the environment is in, the conditions that he's in. You don't get that amount of time today. You just don't get that. This is a completely different environment. And you're playing against 13 men, never mind 11 men. You've got to move the ball quicker. You can't get caught on the ball twice.
Yeah, if you thought Wednesday would give the same work rate they had at London Road, I would imagine they've already covered more inches on the pitch in this opening 10 than they did at all of London Road. The work rate has been outstanding, and they, of course, been cheered on by this very loud home crowd. 10 minutes on the clock, and Wednesday had a goal. It's 4-1 on aggregate to the Posh.
Yeah, they'll be relentless. They'll just keep trying to get the ball forward. I know it's not the same, but they'll look at the City game last night and look at the tempo and the enthusiasm that the world's elite did. And they'll be thinking, well, if the elite can do that and the elite have that work rate, then we've got to do the same. Yeah. The good thing is we've got opportunities.
Corner for Posh there as Ephraim Mason-Clark made some headway down the left-hand side. He was on the end of a bit of a tough tackle from Dominic Iorfa, but he's won a corner. And we know after last Friday, Posh can do their bit as one of the ball boys and girls who I was complimenting earlier, now doing the business for Posh, but then did fall over. The Wednesday fans taking objection as Posh take the corner. In it comes. It seemed to miss a lot of players there. Poku, I think it fell to towards the back post. But it must have been offside because the flag on the far side is done. Posh still coming back as Wednesday's long ball almost catches them out. And we thought it would be Posh trying to exploit the opposition on the break there. Wednesday nearly got in.
Yeah, everything's going to be 100 miles an hour. We've really got to sort emotions out. Again, sloppy.
Yeah, Cipriani nearly giving it away. And then going down as the ball came towards him. Posh have it with Norburn. He does find a Posh shot on this occasion. Burrows, for some reason, getting booed, has found Ephraim Mason-Clark. Maybe all the Posh players getting booed as Ephraim Mason-Clark goes up against, again, Iorfa. Stops him coming down that side.
That's going to be an interesting battle. Very, very interesting battle. Iorfa's big, physical, strong, quick. Mason's strong. He likes to obviously get the ball down. So that's a key battle tonight. Key battle. And all you can tell straight away, as soon as he gets it, Iorfa's straight there. Straight there.
Burrows manhandled as he tries to go on the overlap. The Wednesday player goes down. Hard to have any sympathy with him, really. Darren Moore trying to cash in on his player rolling on the floor. A lively opening 12.5 minutes, to say the least. If you're just joining us, Wednesday have already got a goal back. 1-0 on the night to Wednesday, still 4-1 on aggregate to Peterborough United. Callum Patterson just needs to get up because he was tussling with Burrows. Burrows got past him. And Patterson stayed down for some time. Posh will have the throw when play resumes, and it's Burrows who's going to take it. Throws it infield for Ephraim Mason-Clark. Takes it down the chest. Gives it to Ward. Similar position to his goal, actually, in the first leg. Doesn't strike it this time. Cipriani, though, through ball for Taylor, who's just over-touched it. The pass from Cipriani had quite a lot of pace on it. And Taylor eventually tackled, so Posh have a throw on the far side.
Oh, well, he'll be disappointed because he made himself a great room. If he gets his first touch right, we know he can hit it straight across the goalkeeper. Great opportunity. First touch, he's probably surprised they had that amount of room in the 18-yard box, to be honest. The ball just got away from him that little bit.
Encouraging this for Posh, though, as the ball is thrown towards the front post. Looked like Taylor again involved. He was the man with the ball at his feet. Wednesday, though, get it clear. Edwards under it. And his header doesn't find his teammate. In fact, it's gone straight to a Wednesday player. Posh trying to get back. And they might be a little fortunate there as Wednesday a bit wasteful. Taylor has it in the middle of the Posh half. He runs into a Wednesday player again. Posh right there, like a little bit there. Ricochets to Norburn. And Posh just need to collect here. 14 minutes on the clock. And keep possession away from any one of the Sheffield Wednesday players. Posh have it at the back once more. The likes of Burrows and Edwards exchanging passes. Well, that's clever from Mason Clark, has done it as if he's come short. The ball went long. He had beaten Iorfa, but the ball wasn't quite up to the standard required. Posh have it back though, and now they're over halfway on this left-hand side with Harrison Burrows. Has been, if we think of Barnsley, a couple of assists there. He's involved in a couple of the goals as well in the first leg. Making an impact, Harrison Burrows. He gets a taste of playoff football. Posh have worked this nicely to the right-hand side. Poku now coming in field, beats his man. Reece James left in his way. Jack Taylor once more has Ward on the right-hand side. Here comes the cross from Joe Ward. Oh, it was in front of everyone.
It's a great ball. It's a great ball. It's centre forward's dream, to be honest. What they've done, the Wednesday players done really well. They just blocked JCH, so we couldn't get that move. But it's a great ball. But this is okay. They've gone down, but all of a sudden they've had a nice few touches of the ball.
And almost there, had possession back. They do eventually. The Posh players, one or two, do look a little nervy in their play. The odd pass, selling a teammate short, or at least encouraging an opposition player to lunge in. But 15 minutes, or just into the 16th now. 1-0 to Wednesday. Ward is dispossessed. The sliding tackle comes in from Cipriano. It's a bad one. He too will be booked. But you've got to say it's Ward again who put his team in a bit of bother there.
Just don't understand why players have a tiny touch and then they go on the floor expecting the ref to do them a favour. Why do players do that? Because if the ref doesn't give it you, all of a sudden you're on the back foot. And now, look, that's cost us. Ward's got the slightest touch and he's gone on the floor expecting the ref to help him out. Stay on your feet, get your body in front of the ball, protect the ball, and then all of a sudden you take the pressure off. Now, because you're relying on the referee to give you a soft free kick, we then give a free kick away. We're desperate, and now you've given them an opportunity to put the ball in the box.
Barry Banham, left-footed to the back stick. It is headed towards Posh's goal. It is going to loop just over. Norris had it covered. Posh survive another Wednesday attack. 17 minutes on the clock now. Wednesday lead 1-0 on the night. He's 4-1 on aggregate. And what you can hear is booing as the Posh centre-backs start in the area. And the Wednesday fans feel it's sort of this unnecessary time being killed as Norris weighs up whether he's going long or short, and then always waves the centre-backs forward and hits it long. That's what the booing is here. Posh on the attack. They've worked it to their right. It's with Kwame Poku. Lovely step over. And it's a good save as the shot comes in. Not Poku's strongest. And now Patterson dispossesses Burrows as Wednesday look to attack. It's a good long ball forward for Smith to hold on. Poku feeling it tonight, though. He's tracking back to win the ball back for the Posh. He could well have equalised there, Franny.
Oh, well, he's absolutely sent the fullback. The fullback's out of the ground. He's trying to get back in. To be fair, it's a good save. Sometimes you've got to say that the goalkeepers do make good saves. It is their job. They do get paid to make saves. So when a goalkeeper makes a save, sometimes it is. And listen, he's in behind him again. So Poku at the minute's going to have a little bit of fun with the fullback. He's not really used to this. The fullback looks a little bit uncomfortable.
It's Reece James who he's terrorising. He's now found Cipriano in the middle. There's space for Cipriano. His delivery isn't the best. It is headed away. Posh will maintain possession on that far side. Space here for Cipriano, though. He's got Ward inside. Ward and Norburn now happy to exchange passes. Posh have been forced back, and now they're all the way back to Norris. Hence the applause rippling around Hillsborough when Norris goes long. It's too long, and Wednesday have possession back again, and that's Posh have got to avoid that, Franny, haven't they?
They need to try and keep it, because the last thing you want is every time you give them the ball back, you're potentially, starting another attack, and that's what you've got to be aware of. But like I say, Reece, it's not the Reece James that most of you are familiar with, that's for sure, thankfully, because if it was, then Poku would not be having such a good time at the moment. But at the moment, like I say, Mason Clark this side's finding it tough because obviously it's a lot more physical. But Poku the other side is having the beating of the fullback. So at the moment, since the goal, they've been okay. The Wednesday players have kind of took the foot off the gas or a little bit, or we've kind of nullified that threat by keeping the ball a little bit better. But you've got to keep the ball, because every time you give it to them, you could potentially start an attack.
Yeah, the back three for the first leg. Aidan Flint was the central centre-back. That is now Michael Ihekwe. And James is now the left of the three. Wednesday on the attack here. Not cleared. Fell on the edge of the area. From Mason Clark might have made a pivotal stop there. Just getting his foot on the ball to break it up. Wednesday coming again with Liam Palmer. It's a long one. Long ball. Ward again under pressure in the right back area. I don't know if you can necessarily blame him for it hitting his hand, but his hand was up by his side. And it looks like they've got away with it.
Yeah, it's handball, but I don't think he was in the area.
He was not.
Yeah, but it was handball.
But it would have been a more dangerous position than this corner. Joe Ward.
A bit shaky, not normally like him. He's normally Mr. Reliable, like we say, but maybe the penalty, maybe the atmosphere, everything's caused a little bit of problems, and all of a sudden he's lost his concentration. It can happen very, very easily and quickly, Ben.
It's frustrating though, isn't it? Because just when you think Posh have got the foothold in the game, quite in the crowd, they make a mistake. In comes this outswing corner. Dangerous, right near the penalty spot. Blocked though by Edwards as a shot came in. And Ephraim Mason Clark and Posh now have a chance to break. Reece James up against him. He's gone infield. Ephraim Mason Clark still got it. He's run all the half. Takes the shot. It's along the floor. Didn't have enough power. And Cameron Dawson makes a comfortable save.
Well, it's 3 against 2. I don't know if that's the best option. He's a centre forward and we know he can hit him. He's in and around the box. He's probably thinking, well, it's opened up for me. There's no one else. But it was 3 against 2.
And Posh will continue to get these opportunities, Franny, and it is pivotal they show their clinical self like they did in the first leg, because just one of those goals could kill it.
Oh, 100%. They need to keep going because they're going to get opportunities, you can see, because they have to put bodies forward. They have to put bodies forward, which allows us to get in behind.
Posh coming forward once more, although on this occasion doesn't quite come off for them. And the long ball has got Michael Smith intrigued in this one. Can he keep it in? He has to, rather than let it go out for a goal kick. Hit it out for a throw-in on the far side as we look on. But it means Posh are going to be penned in to their own half, right near the corner flag, and they are in no rush. No rush whatsoever to take it. You're listening to BBC Radio Cambridgeshire playoff football on your local BBC station. 4-1, the current aggregate score, with Wednesday 1 up on the night. And they're on the attack again here and have won a corner. Posh unable to play out of their own area there. And now have a corner to defend. This is not going as swimmingly as we'd hoped, Freddie.
Well, it's going as we probably predicted. We knew it was going to backs against the wall. We didn't want them to get an early goal, and bar the goal, you know, half opportunities.
In comes the corner. It's a deep one. Sheffield Wednesday tried to head it towards goal. Eventually it fell in the area. The shot not the most potent one. Norris again able to collect. Gregory it was that got the shot off, but with Will Norris in the Posh goal. Fans around us reminding the officials of the 6-second rule. As Posh do battle in midfield once more. Kipriani won the header, couldn't find a black and gold shirt. So Wednesday have it back, and forward they come once more. It's a long ball, switching to this right-hand side. Burrows goes for it, then doesn't get it. Patterson in here, could pull it back, and shot comes in. It's just over the bar. Posh living dangerously, and Wednesday might be questioning how they've not half the aggregate deficit.
Well, thankfully, like you say, they've had 2 opportunities there. One's straight into Norris, half volley, could have gone anywhere. And that one, he's very, very disappointed that he's not hit the target. But Burrows has just not got his positioning right. We know it's not his natural position, but his positioning was all wrong. And then all of a sudden, he's got all his legs in a tangle. And thankfully, they didn't take the opportunity.
As glorious as last Friday was, it feels like we're having to pay for it this Thursday. As Ephraim Mason Clark has waved away by the referee. He felt he could have had a free kick. Now the luck is going for Wednesday. Callum Patterson's ball was shanked, but it's found a teammate. Delivery comes in. Norris is scrambling. The ball has fallen to Patterson. He's dragged his shot into the path of a colleague. And Sheffield Wednesday have their second goal. Very fortunate that. But they don't care at Hillsborough. Posh in disarray as Wednesday get their second. 2-0 to the Owls on the night. Posh's lead has been halved. 4-2 on aggregate.
Well, now you know you're in for a game, Ben. You can hear this crowd. All of a sudden, they've got another 10%. It's going to be very, very tough. Very, very tough. What you can't do. The balls are coming in the box. We're not dealing with the box. Norris has come out there. I don't know what he's doing. I really don't know what he's doing. Let the defenders deal with that. He's come out. And if you are going to come, you've got to get a lot on it. He's parried it half-heartedly. Obviously, he's not meant it. And then they've got... And now, all of a sudden... We was talking about luck. Remember we was talking about luck? Where does that ball feel? Could have dropped anywhere. It drops to them, and now they've got the luck. The game of football is a very, very funny game. Momentum is key. And at the moment, the Posh players are getting together. They need to somehow make the pitch as narrow as possible. The only problem is that if you allow crosses to get in the box, they're very good in the box. So you've got to get together. You've got to get together.
It is chaos around us. The Sheffield Wednesday players, well, some of the management team celebrating as if they'd won, the players getting fluids. While that was going on, a smoke bomb had gone off in the top right-hand corner of the pitch as we look on. Posh were holding a crisis Cobra-style meeting, and all around us it's pandemonium, while to our left, well, it's the Posh fans who look on in disbelief. 26 minutes gone at Hillsborough. Sheffield Wednesday lead by 2-0. Still got over an hour to play.
Well, they'll be nervous. They'll be nervous. You've seen the way that their coaching staff celebrated that goal. I mean, you would think that they've just scored the 5th goal. Never mind only the 2nd. And all of a sudden, this place is absolutely rocking. It really is rocking. And we've got to somehow get a grip, get opportunity. Maybe an incident, maybe a tackle. Just something to kind of kill this momentum. Because at the moment, these Sheffield Wednesday players have been absolutely relentless.
Well. Playoff football, hey? This is sometimes how it can play out. Momentum was all Posh's after the first leg. And that has evaporated. They still have a 2-goal advantage. You mustn't forget that. But this was not the script Posh fans were hoping for. And Posh have had their chances. Posh continue to flood forward, and you do wonder whether that's the best form of defence, as Ward is now dispossessed. And Wednesday come forward again. Darren Ferguson has always tried to fight fire with fire. Don't know if that is the plan of action. Certainly not working so far.
Well, the approach is always going to be the problem. Like we said, Ben, you know, Fergie's all we know. He likes to sit back. He likes to trust his, trust what he wants to do all the time. And he knows that he's got the centre forwards, but I think this game's different. I always say, and I'm massive. I always say best form is defence is attacks. I always say it, but I'm not the manager.
Shot from distance there, blocked by Wednesday, and as Posh tried to break, we'll at least get the throw-in on halfway. Pocker on this right-hand side, threatening to get on the end of the loose ball. It is cleared into the stand on the far side. And it's got this feel, I don't know, in my younger days of watching European football and two rival sides coming together, and you've got the smoke from the flares and the smoke bombs and the atmosphere. It's all here. It's just not the conditions that Posh are thriving in at the moment. Joe Ward with the throw on the far side.
Well, you don't want to concede a third before half-time, Ben, that's for sure. Because the second half, it's going to be tough enough as it is, but a third really, really makes it... I don't even know what the word I'm looking for, because, 4-0 up, like we said before the game, you know what's coming. You've got to try and nullify their threat, but at the moment, we've really struggled. And I don't know if it's very easy to say we've been too defensive, but we've played like that since Fergie's come in. I know the first leg, in stages we were moving the ball around, but listen, the first leg Sheffield Wednesday players didn't know what hit them, and things didn't work out for them, and all of a sudden they were just going through the motions. You're definitely not going to get that today.
We've not even reached the half-hour mark. Posh defending again. Ward the target as Wednesday come forward. He's helped out by Norburn. Cleared down the line. Oh no, Posh had the ball as the ball went long, it fell to Taylor. And he's gone to try and play it down the line for JCH, but on the left, Ephraim Mason-Clark was free. And as the pressure ramps up on Posh, you just hope they don't lose their head going forward as well. Another long ball forward from Wednesday. Frankie Kent pushed into the ball and therefore gives away a corner.
Well, he's got to deal with it, Ben. He's got to deal with it. I've told you before, if you're going to rely on the ref and you're going to put it on the ref, it's a 50-50 call. Don't worry about the ref. Don't try and get cheap free kicks. Deal with the ball, get your body in the way, and deal with the problem at source.
This is a nightmare. At least it started that way for Posh. Wednesday lead by 2-0 on the night. It is still Posh 4, Wednesday 2 on aggregate. 31 minutes played though in the second leg. Another corner. Bannon, the one to take it, headed away by Burrows of all people. Bannon though gets another opportunity. He gives it to Reece James, crosses left-footed, and Johnson Clark-Harris wins the header. Back though in at Wednesday ball, hooked towards the Posh area, gonna fall to them on the edge, gets the shot. I think it's one of those fortunate moments where it has fallen to one of the centre-backs, and it was not the most dangerous of shots coming in from Iorfa. A cauldron of noise around us here in Sheffield. Long ball forward to Johnson Clark-Harris. Looked like he was held. Ball then came into the path of Poku, but it ricochets off his shins. And it's Wednesday that have it again. Ball is played forward, ricochets off a Posh player. Ward will have to play this. He finds Norris, who does well to chip the ball to the far side, trying to find a teammate. Bannon though able to keep it for Wednesday, who come forward once more. Better in midfield as Kipriano wins the ball back. He's straight away closed down though, and Posh have managed to get a 3-on-3 here. Taylor just needs to slip in Ephraim Mason-Clark. Here is Posh's number 10, Ephraim Mason-Clark. He's beaten his man. It's a good save though. Cameron Dawson may have made an error for Posh's first at London Road. He's made 3 impressive saves here, Ephraim Mason-Clark. Well, Franny should have done better.
I think he didn't realise he had more time, because he's put him on his backside, and all of a sudden he probably could have taken it in, you know, that extra yard maybe, because he had a lot more time, but he's thinking, I'm not going to have that much time. So just shows you, listen, they're going to put bodies forward. They still need to score goals. So all we need is that one goal, and this could change the momentum, change the crowd, change everything. All of a sudden they got in their head, they got to think they've got to score 5 goals.
But they've got to be their clinical self from what we saw on Friday. There's a couple of opportunities now for Posh. They haven't taken them. Ward's corner, in it comes, headed away. It's gone over to the far side where it will run out for a throw. And a rare break in the game as Posh wait for a throw-in take on Ward to return, having just taken the corner on the opposite side. And remarkable to think we're only in the 34th minute. Posh fans, though, had something to cheer about, and just as I was saying, they'd found their voice again. Posh give the ball straight to Wednesday on the far side, who are now running down Posh's right. Once again, hoping to get back into it. Posh managed to stop that particular attack, and it's now with Burrows in the full-back area, lacking options. He has to go back to his centre-back partner. Not a lot of space or time for Edwards, as Ephraim Mason-Clark is pulled by Iorfa. Posh's number 10 goes toe-to-toe with him. And the referee, as Ephraim Mason-Clark goes down, gives the free kick to the Posh man. This was something we mentioned in the first leg, Franny. For a man of his size, Ephraim Mason-Clark has incredible strength. He's up against the big man in Dominic Iortha.
Well, they're probably the two strongest, probably JCH in there, but they're probably the two strongest players on the pitch. And they're at it, battle. It's a good battle as well. The ref's not giving any cheap free kicks away from both teams, and they're both at it. And they're both at it in an honest way as well. We've got an opportunity here.
Joe Ward is into the area. Ward takes the extra touch. Left-footed is then closed down. Posh still have the ball, though. Kipriani to Poku on the right-hand side. Kwame Poku. We've already had one really deadly roll. His cross, though, is blocked. Posh happy to take the throw. The chance is still coming, aren't they, Franny?
Well, it's one of those. Could he have taken it before he has the touch? Because the goalkeeper's not settled, but I think he wanted to try and make it settle, so obviously he can wrap his left foot around it. But I think if he takes it earlier, then the goalkeeper can't settle. You're always told to try and take it early so the goalkeeper can't sit, can't plant his feet and get ready. And I think by having that extra touch, one, it gives the defender an opportunity to get another block in, and then the goalkeeper to obviously get his position. But since the second goal again, okay, at the moment, just it's our mistakes that have let them in. It's our mistakes, Ben.
Almost a carbon copy of the first game, where one team is lost in the headlights and the other enjoying the home comforts and enjoying the rub of the green. Posh, though, on the attack again. Diagonal ball towards Ephraim Mason-Clark, which is overhit by Kwame Poku, and he's taken some criticism from his teammates. To be fair to Poku, could be Posh's player of the game so far. And this is the quietest it has been since we got underway. 2-0 to Sheffield Wednesday on the night. 4-2 to Posh on aggregate. Well, we knew it wouldn't be dull. Just didn't think we were expecting this. Eight and a half minutes to go until half-time. And that's even without the added time. Posh have a throw, which they are in no hurry to take. Burrows down the line towards JCH. He's double-teamed. And it's come off his head, apparently, so it's Wednesday ball. Wednesday start from the back. Remember, they got to this stage last year, and it was Sunderland who knocked them out. Looking to avoid the same fate for a second year in a row. Your playoff semi-final a lot more straightforward, wasn't it, Franny? Posh already had the advantage going into the after the first leg, and then David Farrell made it pretty plain sailing, didn't he, in the second?
Yeah, it's always, if you get a draw or you win the first leg away from home, then all of a sudden it's very comfortable because they have to come out and you're at home. So you can just go on the front foot, and obviously, you know, when you have someone as fast as Faz play him, he just kicked the ball over the top and off he went. It made it pretty easy for us.
And of course, a playoff win at Wembley followed. And what Posh would give for a spot in another playoff final now. Patterson's cross is deflected off Burrows. It will be another Wednesday corner. All hands on deck once more. The Wednesday crowd have certainly played their part. 2-0 up here on the night. Banham, the danger man, standing over this one. Reece James thinking about providing a short option. They actually roll the ball to the front post. It does not work for them. Burrows has one hack, and then Ephraim Mason-Clark eventually getting it clear, but it's not even as far as halfway. It's on the far side that the ball trickles out. So Posh still with defending to do. Fergie looks calm in his technical area as Wednesday pump the ball forward long once more. Burrows battling. gets a clearance. It's only fallen to Bannon, which is why the cries of shoot come out, but he's ignored them, rolled it to the left. Ward gets the block on the cross. It's another Sheffield Wednesday corner. And Posh need to cling on if they can until half-time. The noise once again escalating as Posh waits. Plenty of pushing and shoving as the corner comes in. Cleared eventually by Posh. Burrows again, the man to hack it clear. Not before though, it bounced a couple of times. The ball hoofed forward once more by the home side. Posh doing their best to try and clear it. It looked like their JCH may have made the clearance off a Wednesday player, which is why Norris was able to fall on the ball using his hands. A few cries of back pass around us, but it would have been quite a ridiculous decision. And we're now less than 5 minutes away from half-time as Will Norris goes long. Too long. The ball bounced once before it is collected by Cameron Dawson, and that's wasteful. Dawson goes long. Smith winning the flick on. Bouncing around Posh's area as the ball is blocked. Not comfortable viewing this for any Posh fan. Wednesday have it once more. Going down the left. Bannon gets it out wide. Long, deep cross from Windass. It is kept in by Patterson, but it's fallen to the feet of Ephraim Mason-Clark as Posh look to counter, and they've got men over here. It just wasn't the ball we were hoping for. Poku has kept it in and will win a throw. Credit to him for that. As Posh stretch Wednesday. Another reminder, Franny, that if Wednesday are going to continue to commit men forward, Posh will enjoy space on the counter.
Yeah, of course, and the longer the game goes on where they don't score, then they're going to keep pressing, but listen, backs against the wall. It's been backs against the wall since we kicked off. You thought it would be. We had those half chances. But the problem we're having is they're giving the ball away in cheap areas, and we're allowing them to then obviously put the ball. If you give the ball away in our final third, then you're just asking for trouble. It's all right giving the ball away up in their final third, but in our final third, where they're only 40, 50 yards from goal, they're going to put it in the box, and they've got some big lads. And that's, at the moment, we've kind of half dealt with it. Nothing's really dropped to them by the chance, by one of the goals. But just don't give the ball away in the final third.
43 minutes gone, and I've already run out of fingernails. Burrows is going to cross from out wide. It's towards the front post. It's tough for Taylor. He tussled for it, but the ref has given a goal kick as the ball ended up behind Dawson's goal. Well, as joyous and as beautiful as last Friday was, this is a different night entirely. The anxiety only getting worse for the Posh. One goal for them, though, might settle a few nerves. Wednesday coming forward is, again, going for the aerial approach. Edwards stepping up this occasion with the ball. And Burrows goes back to Norris, who goes long for captain Johnson Clark-Harris. Over his head, Poku might get to it. Reece James it is that gets it back to Dawson, who can clear. Patterson the target. Burrows jumped early, might have played into his hands actually, as the ball just ricocheted off Patterson. What do you say if you're Darren Ferguson at half-time? Do you have to just calm the troops down, remember who they are and how the damage they can do against this side? What's the tactical gist of it, Franny?
Well, you're still two goals ahead, so it's not, you don't need to panic, that's for sure, because if the coach panics, then the players are going to panic. So he needs to just say, listen, we don't need to panic. You're going to get opportunities in this game. Stop giving the ball away in cheap areas. Now, some might say, is he going to change formation, things like that. I don't think that's going to work, because if you do change formation, or you do even, change personnel at the moment, then all of a sudden what you've been working on all week could completely been thrown out the window. So I think you've just got to say to the players, listen, you've got to just tidy up a little bit. In certain areas of the pitch, you have to tidy up and keep the ball a little bit more, because every time you give the ball away, you could potentially be starting, I've said it numerous times, an attack. Now, you've got to look at that ball and keep that ball. You don't have to take risks. You don't have to do crazy Gerrard diagonal balls all the time. 10 yards, ease away into the game, take the momentum away from these players. But it's very hard. It is hard, especially in this environment. It's not as easy as that, because what you're not taking into consideration, it's all right when you're talking about your team, but what you're not taking into consideration is the elements of what the other team are doing against you when you do have the ball, which could obviously lead for you to giving the ball away or making mistakes or being rash. So there's a lot to think about, but the players have got to be laser focused on keeping the ball simple.
There's going to be 4 minutes of added time. Posh frustrating again, because they've made good headway on the left-hand side, and then a poor pass gives Wednesday possession back. Then Frankie Kent's under pressure, and the ball is back with Dawson as he starts another attack from the back, although play stopped. Looks like it'll be a Posh free kick in their own half. A rare bit of good luck for the Posh this evening. And the Wednesday fans still unhappy with the speed in which Posh are proceeding at times. Norris has come up almost to halfway to take the free kick. Hence the boos. It's long, it's diagonal, and it's towards Johnson Clark-Harris. He's out-jumped on this occasion, but the ball's only headed as far as Hector Cipriani. Now Joe Ward's going to try his luck from distance. And in the first leg, it flew into the top corner. In the second, it scurries along the floor wide of the Wednesday goal. Already played a minute, if not more, of added time in this first half. Wednesday 2, Posh 0. Posh 4-2 up on aggregate. Wednesday coming forward again. Norburn, though, blocks this cross, and it's gone out for a corner. Another chance for the Wednesday fans to go crazy. Another moment for Posh to defend. Just before half-time. And with Wednesday holding the height advantage in a number of key battles. Bannon standing over the ball towards the front post, and plenty of whip on it. Posh alert to it, though. Edwards, I think, gets the header away. Another corner, though, for the home side. Bannon the man once more. In it comes. Norris retreats, headed towards goal. Norris claims it. Nervy moments, though, there. Norris almost behind his line as he claimed the header. But he's doing all the tricks you would hope for. The falling on the ball. Bounced it 3 or 4 times. He's now waving his players forward. He's got the whole repertoire. Eventually, the ball goes long. JCH wins the flick on from Mason Clark. Doubling up there, and the referee thinking his jump for that header was a little exuberant. And the Wednesday player on the floor in agony, Reece James, probably agrees. Last minute then. And we are almost 3/4 of a way through this tie. And when you look at it like that, Posh still 4-2 up. There's still hope. Long ball is a dangerous one. Smith, the target man, almost found a teammate with the layoff. Wednesday still have it. Edwards called upon to clear. He gets to halfway, and Johnson Clark-Harris didn't really challenge for it, put the jump in. And Posh might be able to pass it to the right-hand side where there is space. Instead, they go down the central avenue. They get the free kick as Taylor goes down. And hopefully, Franny, that is enough to see out what has been a tough first half of this second leg for the Posh.
Yeah, well, they need a breather, that is for sure. They definitely need a breather. Don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because once they're going to have a breather, because their pace has been ridiculous, and they're probably going to start again the next 20 minutes of the second half, which is going to be crazy as well. So, yeah, you just got to relax. They've somehow got to relax, and it's easier said than done. It's really easier said than done.
Well, you didn't think it would be plain sailing, did you, Posh fans? And of course it won't be. Posh still have the advantage, but that was a ugly first half at times. Started with the ugliest of tackles from Joe Ward to give away a penalty, slotted home by Michael Smith, and then it was Lee Gregory who managed to get the second. That was only 25 minutes in. Somehow Posh have weathered the storm, get to half-time with a 2-goal advantage still intact. But it's not just the Posh players and Sheffield Wednesday players who need a breather. I'd suggest for all of our health, enjoy the next 15 minutes of analysis and half-time to calm down. At half-time...
Games elsewhere this evening, so Barnsley-Bolton second leg is tomorrow night. Games elsewhere this evening in the Premier League, just over an hour played. Newcastle leading Brighton by 2-1. In the Europa Conference League, half-time, West Ham 0-0 out at AZ Alkmaar. That game 2-1 on aggregate in the Hammers' favour. The second semi-final in the Europa Conference League, Basel against Fiorentina. Fiorentina 1 up on the night. That one's 2-2 on aggregate. In the Europa League, Bayer Leverkusen Roma is 0-0 on the night. Roma leading 1-0 on aggregate. And Sevilla Juventus is 0-0 on the night, which is 1-1 on aggregate. Away from the football, and golf's US PGA Championship underway at Oak Hill Country Club in New York. Frost having delayed the start of play, but the big hitters starting their rounds, a number of them already underway. The likes of Dustin Johnson, Justin Rose, still to come over the course of the next few minutes. You can follow all of the latest there, including further tee times and the leaderboard via the BBC Sport website. In tennis, Rafael Nadal is going to miss the French Open. He's picked up a hip injury. First time in 19 years that Nadal has missed out at Roland Garros. Of course, he's a big fan, does really well on the clay, so he'll be frustrated about that. He's also announced that he's intending to retire at the end of the 2024 season. And in Speedway, Peterborough Panthers at Kings Lynn this evening in the Premiership. Tapes up at 7:30. Panthers aiming to pick up their first win of the new season, but disadvantaged with the team news in that Richie Worrell is unavailable owing to injury, so he's being covered via the rider replacement facility. 81333 if you want to text us. At BBC Cam Sports is our address on Twitter and on WhatsApp. 08000 321 333. That's 08000 321 333.
BBC Radio Cambridgeshire.
Tomorrow, it's Free Ticket Friday. Your chance to win tickets to some of the biggest live music events in Cambridgeshire this summer. Find out how to get your hands on the tickets tomorrow on Breakfast. And good luck. Free Ticket Friday, tomorrow on BBC Radio Cambridgeshire.
Peterborough United trailing by 2 on the night, leading 4-2 on aggregate. League One playoff semi-final tie. So they remain within touching distance of Wembley, but work to be done in the second 45 minutes here at Hillsborough. Some of your messages via the text, the tweets, the WhatsApps. Dan on Twitter says, what the heck is Will Norris doing for the second goal this evening? An absolute mess defensively. Matt says it's not often that you have both managers at half-time in a game discussing with their players how to manage a 2-goal lead. And Paul says really intense pressure from Sheffield Wednesday. I think Posh deserve credit for riding out the opening 20 minutes in particular. We've got a platform for the second half. 81333 if you want to text us at BBC Cam Sports. That's our address on Twitter and on WhatsApp 08000 321 333. That's 08000 321 333 on the text and on WhatsApp. Starting your messages CAM. Franny Green, Nathan Alban with us in the commentary box. Let's get the thoughts of Fran first. Although at times clearly it's been a nervy watch from a Posh perspective, probably Darren Ferguson in his heart of hearts, do you think at half-time he's not going to be too surprised by any of that? OK, it didn't go entirely to plan, and to concede so early from the penalty was a bit of a nightmare, but I don't think for Darren this will be entirely unexpected. I would think he will know he's got to do a big half-time team talk, but he would have been prepared to deal with this kind of scenario.
Yeah, of course, and I don't think he'll be surprised at all. One thing I will say is I think he'll be surprised at the lack of quality that the boys have shown on the ball, and I would not be surprised if you see some changes. Some people might not think, but I think maybe bringing something different, maybe refreshing something. I'm not too sure what he'll do, but I think he has to do something, because if he keeps the same, what you got to think about is the mindset of these players coming out the second half after they've just been absolutely battered in the first half. Their mindset on a psychological level could be a little bit concerning. So he may make a few changes because of that and bring someone up and try and change that mentality. But they've got to be better on the ball, Pete. It's just being better on the ball. You could talk about how, you know, the tempo, the crowd, all those types of things. You can see that. That's expected. What's not acceptable is that does not change the fact that you should not still have quality and take your time on the ball, regardless of what Sheffield Wednesday do without the ball.
Do you think that's nerves? Is that the psychological side?
Yeah, I think it is nerves. Of course it is, but at the end of the day, nerves don't care, emotions don't care, fans don't care. You got a job to do, and you got to deal with it. And you're in a situation, and you're in a position of privilege, and this is what's going to happen. And you have to deal with these things. That's what's got you to where you are today. So you have to deal with these things. It's hard. It's a lot easier when you're sitting here. Believe me, I've been down there. But that's what you've got to do. You really, really have got to somehow take your time, set someone to take priority of the ball. But it is a lot easier said than done when the opposition are in your face and you're playing with 25,000 whatever's here tonight against you.
Yeah, we can't overlook all of the numbers that we rolled out around Sheffield Wednesday ahead of the first tie. The 96 points, only 6 defeats all season, the lengthy unbeaten run in the league. All of that still rings true. Yeah, they had a really bad night in the first leg, but they've still got plenty of quality. Fran talking about potential changes. Nathan, I don't know if you've been keeping an eye on this, but Dan Butler appears stripped and ready to go. What do you reckon? Possibly a switch to a back three?
I wouldn't look too much into Dan Butler warming up on the pitch. I've seen him do this quite a lot before, where he does seem to be a bit of a one-man band in terms of doing his own little warm-up for himself, either before the game or during half-time as well. Yes, he is fully stripped. You're right, he's wearing the all-black kit. There's no bib on or anything like that, and he's just receiving a bit of instruction from one of the coaches with a few cones laid out as well. And potentially he could be coming on, and there could be a change of shape, but overall it seems to be a bit of a similar game to the first leg. As bizarre as that might sound, Sheffield Wednesday are sort of bombarding the Peterborough United box and almost just seeing what happens. And in the first leg, it didn't drop for them. Everything they did didn't turn into goals. There was even one case where one of their own players blocked one of their own shots. It was that kind of a night for them. Whereas this time, it seems to be working for them. Meanwhile, things aren't going Posh's way. At the other end, they've forced Cameron Dawson into several decent saves, whereas in the first leg obviously Dawson makes a fumble and then Posh are in the ascendancy. So overall, in terms of how the game is looking, I think it's pretty even. but things are just going Sheffield Wednesday's way, and the more that keeps happening, the more it just exaggerates and accentuates, and the more Darren Moore whips up this crowd, and the more that pressure builds on these Peterborough players. And that pressure is what we saw in that first half, with Norris coming flying out of his goal for the second goal, way out of his 6-yard box, when the defenders seem to be underneath the long ball into the box. And obviously then he's in no man's land, and it leads to the goal. And Joe Ward giving away the penalty as well for the other goal. The nerves are there, but Darren Ferguson needs to make sure his players keep on top of them.
Fran, there were good opportunities on the break in that first half, and it makes a huge difference if you can take one of those. And if Posh do find the back of the net, suddenly it's a completely different game.
Oh, it completely changes everything. Like Nath was saying, in the first leg, Sheffield United, Sheffield Wednesday, nothing went for them. Their opportunities didn't go in, and the momentum was all with Posh. Tonight, if we can obviously get that goal, this crowd will change, because all of a sudden the players have got to score more goals. Their enthusiasm for wanting to win the game can be affected, the Wednesday players. So we got to keep going and hoping that we get a half opportunity. But things do need to change. It'll be interesting to see if we change formation with Butler coming on, and Thompson stripped as well. So we're putting 2 defenders on. So it tells you that. I wouldn't say we're panicking yet, but there is something coming in. 2 defenders on the pitch.
I think the pattern for the second half may be set here, and let's hope to goodness that Darren Ferguson has called this right and that Posh can see it out, because with Dan Butler, Nathan Thompson, you're getting on your experience, you're aiming to calm things down, you're aiming to make the most of the 2-goal cushion that remains. I'll allow Ben to explain exactly what's taking place with the 11, but we're ready to go for the second half across all frequencies here on BBC Radio Cambridgeshire. Posh down on the night, but still with a significant 2-goal advantage, and still the Wembley dream very much intact. Your commentary team here at Hillsborough, Franny Green and Ben Stevenson.
The sound of Cambridgeshire. BBC Radio Cambridgeshire Sports.
Welcome back to Hillsborough. 2 half-time substitutions for Peterborough United. Nathan Thompson and Dan Butler have come on, and it's straight swaps. So off go Harrison Burrows and Joe Ward. Interesting decision from Darren Ferguson straight away. Posh on the defence. In comes the cross. Will Norris takes. Well, if Nathan Thompson had been fit, there would have been an argument. If he'd maybe got some game time under his belt, he may well have started this game. Dan Butler coming in. Granted, it is more preferred position of left back, but Franny, big moments call for big decisions. Fergie has not shied away from it, but your instant reaction to them?
Well, what he's gone for 2 solid defenders. We know Wardy and we know Burrows are not exactly solid defenders. They like to get forward first, whereas Thompson and Butler, you would say, are more reliable as such when it comes on the defending side of things. They don't really get us forward as much as the other 2, and will that invite more pressure? I'm not sure, but I think he's just wanted to shore it up a little bit and get that solid back four. Bit of a, I wouldn't say it's a bit of a strange. I can see why he's doing it, because at the end of the day, we are still...
Well, the ball's fallen to Thompson in the area. Wasn't his most commanding of moments. The good news is, though, Posh managed to get it clear.
The only thing is, and like you say, does it invite the pressure a little bit more that we've already trying to deal with? And then can you get out? Do you get bodies going forward?
Wednesday at the moment in Posh's half, but they can't get the ball on the floor, and it's actually Poku that manages to get the ball for Posh. He's clipped, he goes down, and it will be a booking for Sheffield Wednesday's number 10, Barry Bannum.
Well, it's not a booking, the refs, it's not a booking.
Well, Posh were trying to break away. It's not the most malicious of tackles, is it? But we'll take it.
Yeah, we'll take it, because it could rattle him, yeah.
Well, I guess as well as time progresses, and hoping Posh still have the comfort of the 2-goal lead, might be a moment where Wednesday are under a bit of pressure. Who knows? Posh on the breakaway, someone like Bannon trying to stretch to stop it. Yes, I've already started clutching at straws. Bright start though this from Posh as they keep possession. Norris now trying to find Efron Mason Clark. Butler gets his first touch. Quite a tussle down that hand side, and Wednesday have got the decision. Get the free kick. And Dawson looks to take it. Nervous times as always following Peterborough United. Long ball forward from Dawson, won by Wednesday over on that far side. Butler manages to force them back, but the cross has come in. Frankie Kent gets his head to it. Bannon now challenging with Poku. Norburn with the tackle. The ref just waving play on at the moment. Wednesday still have it. Out wide. Played infield to Bannon. He does get his left foot round the ball. Blocked by Cipriano. And Wednesday have yet another corner. Almost 4 minutes of the second half played. Not been a goal yet for Wednesday. They have a corner though. Bannon waiting to take it. Plenty of target men in there. Bannon going deep. Smith with a header. Everyone just stopped and watched as it went inches wide. And another heart-in-mouth moment for Posh. They survive on this occasion, but another reminder of the danger out there.
Well, set pieces, it's easier said than done. I keep saying it, but you really don't want to give set pieces away. They're clearly a lot more physical, a lot more powerful than we are from set pieces. Got to be careful, very, very careful. It's another let-off because, you know, how many times has he hit the target in training, and now it's just whistled wide.
Another battle between JCH and Iwakwe in the centre here as Butler heads the ball back to Norris. Action is flowing from end to end. It's the Posh fans over to our left in the top tier. Well, they look calm, but I'm sure their nerves are frayed even at this stage. Posh leading 4-2 on aggregate, but on the night they're 2-0 down. And while they've had the odd moment, Wednesday have ridden their luck and taken their opportunities. Posh have not so far. Nathan Thompson down, Butler on. Ward and Burrows off, and at the moment Wednesday coming forward once more. Edwards is going to get his body between ball and player. It's not going to roll out though for Ronnie Edwards. In the end, he plays it down the line, but to a Wednesday player. In comes the cross. Overhead kick attempt. Great save by Will Norris. Wow, he made some big saves in the first leg. That one, very impressive. As you can imagine though, the acrobatics has brought Hillsborough alive for a moment. Cipriano, poor touch, invites a tackle from Bannon, who's on a booking like Cipriano. He wins the ball back though. Wednesday coming forward again. They've got an opening here. Cross comes in, and it's straight to Norris. I think there might have been a touch from Edwards as the cross came in. But what a game we're witnessing, Franny.
Well, what an effort. The overhead kick, I'm thinking, is going to take Butler's head off, and the goalkeeper's done magnificent to get down and claw it out. And then we've got the ball away. Bannon on a yellow card, a bit risky. He's then obviously not playing around. I thought he was going to get himself booked again. And then thankfully a little deflection has taken the cross into Norris. But I mean, it's a great save. Let's not take it away. Magnificent effort, but, you know, save was equal to it.
Bannon might have done himself a bit of mischief in his double tackle there.
Well, the one thing they don't want to lose him.
He's still down receiving treatment. But yes, we were, as Posh fans, almost encouraging him to get involved in the duel with Cipriano. I just didn't expect his tackling to be quite as good as it was. He's still down, and the physio continues to try and help him. He's trying to get up to his feet. The Wednesday fans don't sound too worried. They continue to sing as Bannon hobbles with a hip and his jump. Getting some fluids and coming over to the touchline. But looks like he's going to be fine to continue. Referee drops the ball to the feet of Will Norris. He happy to pick it up. Could make quite an impact in a small time at this club, Will Norris. He'll be remembered for being incredibly relaxed with the ball at his feet, but I wonder if that now will be wiped away by memories of great saves in the playoff semi-final first and second leg. He's using his experience here as well as he lets the ball run into his area before picking it up. And Posh now playing out from the back as Kent rolls it to Nathan Thompson. He finds Poku, manages to turn Kwame Poku. Jack Taylor with a poor ball though, leaves Norburn short. And tackle comes in, Posher now scrambling to the left back area. And Franny at times just panicking, aren't they, in the headlights? And we saw it in the first half. It is making it really difficult for this Posh side.
Well, again, I keep stressing the point of giving the ball away sloppily. Jack there tried to flick it round the corner. He's got to get hold. He's in the middle of the park, because for every time you give the ball away, I keep saying it, and I know they can't hear me, you're potentially giving them an opportunity to obviously cause an attack every single time. So you've got to take that extra touch. This is not the game for flicking round the corner. You've got to take an extra touch. You've got to kill the game.
Still, it's Wednesday that lead 2-0 on the night. It's Posh that lead 4-2 on aggregate. There is, of course, the possibility of added time, penalties. We hope it does not come to that. Those thousands of Posh fans dreaming of Wembley. Still a long way to go yet. Posh had the throw on the far side. It's Butler that finds Johnson Clark-Harris, who in turn nods it on. Ephraim Mason-Clark battling in vain on this occasion. Butler then stepping forward, gets the tackle in. It will be a throw, quickly taken for the home side. Messi though in midfield. Posh managed to steal in, and now Thompson, who's wearing white boots. Nathan Thompson this is. In fact, the whole back four have just noticed you're in white boots. Frankie Kent going long. Too long with a slice as well, so it's a Wednesday ball around halfway. Patterson battling with Poku. Poku doing really well to stop delivery coming in. It's Wednesday ball though. Johnson, in fact, it is on this left-hand side. Thompson not taking any chances as he chested out. Short ball from Johnson to Bannon. Johnson gets it back, looks to cross. It is deflected behind off Nathan Thompson. Another corner for Wednesday. Wave of attack. It was funny in the first half. It felt quite even despite the score. But taking Ward and Burrows off, Posh, yes, look more defensively sound. But they are inviting the pressure on. 11 minutes gone in the second half. Posh with a 2-goal advantage on aggregate. Bannon's delivery to the back, not cleared by Posh. So the third attempt is a Posh player, Jack Taylor it is. Gets a sideways clearance rather than getting it towards halfway. So Posh still under a bit of pressure. Ball's on the far side, throw into Wednesday. Looking to go long, they're just waving men forward. Posh, every man back in their own area. In comes the throw. Bounces in the Posh area before Johnson Clark-Harris can hack it away. Rhys James is just going to header this ball right back in the air. Poku tries to steal a march on him and get to it. I think Nathan Thompson's going to go long here. And Wednesday have to hack it out of play. And Posh will get the throw. Franny, what have you made with Thompson and Butler in for Posh?
I can see why he's done that. They're natural defenders. It's not really changed the game much. You know, Wednesday are still on top in the game. We can't really get out. What I would say is, you know, Fergie knows that from set pieces where we've been struggling, and maybe the fact that obviously, you know, Butler and Thompson are defensive minded, they can get themselves in those positions more so than Ward and Burrows.
And Wednesday with almost less men forward, trying to trouble Posh on that occasion. Posh standing firm. They've actually worked it now to the left-hand side. Ephraim Mason-Clark running at the Wednesday back line. Iorfa stands strong as the cross comes in, and it is close to the back post, but it's out of the path of Johnson Clark-Harris. A couple of the Wednesday defenders there, letting it bounce just wide of the post, but crucially for a goal kick to Wednesday.
Well, first little time I've been able to get 3 or 4 passes together, and like I say, a little bit of lack of quality at the end. Could have gone anywhere, could have crept in, but it's the first time I've really been able to get the ball down and do 3 or 4 passes.
So I spoke to our colleague Sam Edwards in the week, and he was kindly asking whether I'd come down from the highs of Friday, and I said, yes, I'm nervous again now, Sam. He said, nervous? Nervous about what? I liked his optimism, but I can feel even more nervous now as Wednesday come forward once more. With Johnson, he's got time to pick out his man. He does, and it is blocked by Ronnie Edwards and goes wide of the Posh goal. We're almost at the hour mark. We've still got over half an hour left to play. Posh need to hold their nerve. Another corner, this time on the far side. Banham to take it once more. The Posh fans looking on almost in horror as the ball comes in. Norris doesn't come for it. Headed by the Wednesday forward across the face of goal. Posh do get it out of their area. Wednesday have possession once more though. On halfway, they're just going to send it already long into the Posh box. Might fall for one of the defenders, but they were trying to chest it to a teammate. Taylor was back. Reece James again with a, well, almost calamitous clearance to a Posh player. Wednesday managed to scramble it clear. There's drama at both ends as once again no one's able to get hold of it in midfield. Wasteful on that occasion. Was that Iorfa still up from the corner? I think it was. Posh though had possession, looking to play themselves out from the back. Frankie Kent under a bit of pressure. He's going to go long over Nathan Thompson, and only as far as halfway. Well, Wednesday will once again have possession back.
I can't understand why he's not just clipped it into Thompson there. It's not like he just decided I'm going to panic and just kicked it out. The last 3 times that he's had it, he's just kicked it out of play. That's the last thing that you need. You need to try and keep the ball.
Posh in possession in their own half and under a lot of pressure whenever they get the ball. Thompson closed down on this occasion. Posh will get the throw. But each time they charge down a Posh player, it gets the crowd up once more. And then you've got Aidan Flint, one of the subs, standing behind Nathan Thompson, almost telling the ref to book him for time wasting. It's all going on here at Hillsborough. As Iorfa plays it back to Dawson, and Wednesday look to build once more. Nice interchange there on halfway. Edwards steps up to win the header, but Wednesday spread it out to their left-hand side. Johnson's cross is a perler, and it's met at the back stick, and once again Will Norris makes his save. The ball is still in. This chip to the back post now. Another shot coming in. Nathan Thompson blocks. Wednesday hook it to the back stick. It's going to be cleared first by one of the defenders, and now Taylor's picked it up on the edge of the area. He has the presence of mind to actually keep hold of the ball and run Posh out of trouble a little bit. They're on the left-hand side now with Butler. Thinks about switching it to the right, but he instead goes down the line. Posh have lost it though, as Ephraim Mason-Clark tried to find Jack Taylor infield. Wednesday now on the attack. Ronnie Edwards is at it again though, dispossessing the Wednesday attacker, giving it to Norris, and Posh will clear. Playoff drama here on the BBC. Posh, remember, 4-0 up from the first leg. They are 2-0 down on the night. It is 4-2 to Posh on aggregate, with around 27 plus, well, minutes plus the added time. Delivery from out wide for Ephraim Mason-Clark, and it is going to be headed for a corner. Is it for Posh? No, Dawson's acrobatics means he's kept it in. He's having a blinding game, Cameron Dawson, thwarting Posh on a couple of occasions. Wednesday now going long. That's a blatant hold on Dan Butler. He's been blocked from stopping that. The cross comes in. Edwards there once again to stop it, and Wednesday trying all the tricks in the book now as once again they lay siege to the Posh area.
Well, Smith, what he's been doing is decided to go on Butler. The problem is Patterson is overloading, so now Butler's got two. So if he goes to the ball, Smith's using his brain, it's going over Smith. Patterson's got him 2-3 times now. And yes, we're living on the edge. Those balls in the middle, one of them's going to drop, and we need to make sure that we get near, because if they keep allowing balls in, law of averages will tell you that one will drop where you don't want it to drop.
Well, that long throw was looking dangerous in the 6-yard box. It has been put behind by Posh for a corner. Bannon once again galloping over to the corner flag on the far side. And once again, it is going to be whipped in dangerously into the Posh 6-yard box. Johnson Clark-Harris at the front post. A couple of players have gone down. It's going to be headed away from Posh. Patterson's just going to chip it back in. Another acrobatic attempt by Wednesday. Will it stay in on the far side? It does. Posh continuing to defend. Bannon on the ball. Bit of trickery from Barry Bannon. His cross is blocked. Posh have a chance to break. Kwame Poku galloping towards halfway. His ball is straight to a Wednesday player. Ephraim Mason-Clark, the guy on the left, who had the space, cuts a frustrated figure. Wednesday have it back. Every Posh player back once more. Long diagonal ball to the head of Smith, but Edwards gets the danger away, and then as Taylor turns with the ball at his feet, heavy touch gives it straight to Barry Bannon, and Posh inviting trouble on themselves once more.
Well, he's just turned straight into him. No one was in 10 yards of him. I don't think he knew where he was, and he's just turned straight into him.
Agonising to watch when it is this tense. Bannon once again on the ball. I can hear when the Posh go marching in, and the fans behind Norris's goal. Posh get the free kick as Ephraim Mason-Clark tried to take the ball down the left-hand side. Posh technically defending at the time. He was looking to break, not for the first time. Iorfa must have been a big Posh fan when his dad was playing for the Posh, because he really was desperate to get a hold of a bit of Ephraim Mason-Clark's shirt. I don't want to be the guy that jinxes us, Franny, but actually when you look at this second half, it's touch wood, been quite strong from Posh.
Yeah.
They've not allowed a lot, have they?
Yeah, I mean, they've not really dealt much with what obviously Wednesday would keep throwing out. I'll more say that Wednesday are probably not really fell for them in and around the box. They've probably put 10, 12 dangerous balls into the box, and so far so good. We've dealt with them, but you can't keep letting that happen. There's still a long way to go, and this game is 25 minutes. If you allow them to keep putting crosses in the box as the game goes on, they're going to get more bodies forward. They've got an absolute giant on the bench. They'll probably throw him up front as well when he comes on, so you've got to be very, very cautious to not allow them. And we're getting tired because we've just been chasing shadows for the whole night.
Wednesday coming forward again. Banham on the left-hand side. Delightful ball. Norris only got a finger to it. Falls at the back post for Patterson. Somehow Posh block it, scramble it clear.
Great block in the end. I think it's Butler in the end, but it's a great block.
Horrible to watch at times, this, as Butler is by the corner flag. Best he can manage is to play it down the line off a Wednesday player. Just trying to look at the replay. It was a flap really from Norris. It then fell to Patterson. And yeah, I think you're right. Dan Butler throwing himself. He's had a bit of flack, Butler, this season. He's come back from a real long-term layoff. Clearly, whether it's struggling to get to what you call match sharpness, whether it's just regaining that form he had before the injury, but you can never doubt his commitment to the cause. I always remember that Lincoln game at London Road, where we'd arrived at the game 2 hours before kick-off. Dan Butler was already on the pitch, visualising, going through certain things, and he just looked so mentally in tune. Never forget that day. You can't doubt his commitment, and he's once again given it all for the Posh again today. Nathan Thompson trying to get Posh down the right-hand side. He's pushed back. And now Will Norris with the ball at his feet. And what a story that is with Norris. His saves here, keeping Posh in this game. Long ball forward from Posh. Poku battling for it. But it will be Wednesday ball once more. And they're going to launch the ball forward via their goalkeeper. Butler battling. Edwards comes over as cover. Posh clear their lines for now. 21.5 minutes remain of normal time. And every so often, we're hearing little whispers from the thousands of Posh fans to our left, and we didn't hear any of that in the first half, mainly because they were being drowned out by the din of noise around us. But actually, Posh have quietened with this opening spell of the second half. The Wednesday fans. And Posh have got the decision over there. Dan Butler again involved. Ronnie Edwards getting a slap on the back of his head from his teammates. In fact, it is Edwards getting the majority of the plaudits. How pivotal, when we look back, will his inclusion be in these playoffs, given at one point it looked like he might be on international duty. Franny, have you felt the tide turn here? We're entering the final 20 minutes. Those Posh fans incredibly nervous, I would say, in the opening 20 minutes after Posh let 2 goals in. They're the ones in full voice now, aren't they?
Well, like you say, it goes in momentum, and at the moment, you know, Wednesday, I wouldn't say they've taken the foot off the gas, but a few things have not really gone for them. But they're probably having a breather, and when the opposition have a breather, that's where you as a team need to kind of like kill the game, have that extra touch. And in some circumstances, obviously, you'll try and nick that goal to really, you know, really change the game. Because, you know, in about the next 5 minutes, all of a sudden, a lot of things are going to change. The crowd starts to change. They'll make a substitution, and that starts to change as well. So something we've got to be very aware of.
They're in again. A chance here as Norris comes out, but it's poked through his legs. A third goal for Wednesday. Posh are appealing with the referee. One of the Posh players booked, Norburn.
Well, just as we were saying about they look like comfortable, and we were saying there's a time that you got to try and get something out of the game and keep your foot on the ball, and then all of a sudden, as I was saying, within the next few minutes or 5 minutes, it's going to change in here because they're really going to go for it, and they've actually beat me to it. There you go, they've done it earlier. I thought they'd wait for the next maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes, they've just gone. And you know what it is, Ben? Switched off. One piece of clever play in the 18-yard box. They've done it. And then Reece James, who, by the way, have probably been their worst player, manages to get in and just poke it. And now all of a sudden, the back's against the wall from the first minute. Even the camera's obviously jumped off, and he's decided that he's had enough. So,
well, he was pushed, and that was my fault.
Yeah, the GoPro's been pushed, so, you know, we've got a problem here now. Maybe we can recover him, and maybe these players can recover as well.
I hope the engineers aren't listening. Oh dear, this is going to be a painful, well, let's hope it is, just at 18.5 minutes plus stoppage time. Hillsborough, well, you can hear it. Just when it looked like Wednesday was slipping out of the tie, just as if Posh looked like they were doing the job. They've managed to squeeze a third goal. Now the camera phone lights are on across Hillsborough. the momentum back with the home side. And if they do get level Wednesday, Posh will have got their more defensive full-backs on. This can't be happening, can it, Franny? It cannot be happening.
Well, it's never happened before, like you say. History is obviously on Posh's side.
Posh get the free kick as Cipriani goes down. Now, there was a booking for one of the Posh players when the goal went in. I think that was a booking for Dan Butler. We've got a Posh player down at the moment receiving treatment, which looks like Cipriani. There may have even been a booking for one of the Wednesday players. It's all going off here. Posh fans once again stunned. Posh players don't look too good either at this stage.
No, there's going to be a lot of nervous. It's been nervous the whole game, and that's why, like you say, when we're saying someone needs that extra touch, stop making the wrong decisions. It's nerves. It's all down to nerves, all down to mindset, doing things they wouldn't normally do. And, you know, and every goal that goes in, the mindset, and all it takes, Ben, is one player to show that weakness, to show that anxiety, to show that, you know, lack of stoicism in the camp, and then all of a sudden other players, and it becomes infectious, and all of a sudden you've got 3 or 4 players, and then that's it, the whole team start to get nervous. Well, and it changes just.
And it felt like it started the moment
changes.
Joe Ward sort of dived, not even tackled, but dived into a player. What was that, the 10th minute, and it feels like it has been a virus going through the team since then. The noise is deafening. Barmy Army is the cry around us. And we're stunned, we just can't believe what we're seeing. Much like the first leg, but in a very different way. Norris will eventually take this free kick. Makes me also think there's going to be a lot of stoppage time at the end of the 90 minutes. Posh not blessed for options. We've been saying that, well, it feels like forever. They've already used Butler and Nathan Thompson. They have Josh Knight, Ricky J. Jones, Ben Thompson, Kabongo Chimanga. It's in the Sheffield Wednesday half, and as soon as I say that, cleared. Nathan Thompson back with a crunching tackle on Michael Smith. Kent now. Not a bad delivery himself. It's down the line. Reece James actually on this occasion defends well, echoing what he might say from Franny earlier. Been a bit error-prone, Reece James. Norburn now tries his luck down the line. JCH challenging for it. Can't quite get to it. Wednesday have possession back. They are, though, in their own half. And it looked like the ref was going to stop play there. Cipriano almost thought he was. He's played advantage now. Wednesday coming forward once more. Dangerous delivery coming in. Ronnie Edwards heading it away. Wednesday, though, with 14 minutes remaining. Well, I said they've been smelling blood. They're bathing in it at the minute. Throw they thought was going to go long, taken shortish, and then the ball coming in from Wednesday over hit, and Nathan Thompson ducks behind it, letting the ball roll out. Well, we were all smiles when we arrived at Hillsborough today. We're expecting a piece of Posh history to be made. Another trip to Wembley. Not looking so sure now. Posh still 4-3 up on aggregate, but have seen that 4-goal advantage whittle away throughout the evening. Long ball forward again for them to defend. First Edwards, then Kent. And it's headed back to Will Norris. Posh looking for every opportunity to let the clock run down. The bad news, folks, still 13 minutes of normal time remain. And the Posh management team look like they're sending for reinforcements. Josh Knight has been summoned. A knight in shining armour, perhaps. Can he ride to the rescue for Posh as Wednesday give the ball away? A rare slip from then. Kiprianu gives the ball back, though. And Wednesday once again into Posh territory. Bouncing off a couple of tackles here. Then played on the overlap. Posh again under the cosh. It's all the way back to the back post. Really dangerous that. Thompson might have been involved in a block. Poku there as well. At times, Posh stretched. And Wednesday looking so dangerous. Have another corner.
If they score, this place would go absolutely wild, Ben. Wild.
I've got no time for it, Franny.
No, the referee's playing his part. He's trying to waste time. He wants to get on.
He's from Lincolnshire, apparently. But there's no suggestions of any favours for Posh as Barry Bannon's delivery comes in. Smith might have won the header. Second ball headed towards goal. And it is saved by Will Norris. But my gosh, Posh not even living life dangerously. Need a new word for it. Teetering on the edge here. And Will Norris. Is he writing himself into the Posh folklore here with this display? Whatever the result, we are due to be on air again tomorrow night. Friday night sport, getting reaction to tonight, but don't know, if Posh don't hold in, might call in sick because I don't fancy an hour of analysis on it. Josh Knight is coming on. Kwame Poku, who had his own chances to send this tie to an early finish. Played well in the first half, and he's been withdrawn. An unlucky casualty here of the situation as Josh Knight is going to sit as a centre-back, is he? Well, he seems to be, yeah. You've got Edwards on the left, you've got Kent in the middle, Knight on the right. So extra reinforcements for the Posh. And it looks like rather than a front three, it's just going to be Mason Clark and Johnson Clark-Harris down the middle. Bit of header tennis in the Wednesday half, but they have the ball now and are running at Posh once more. First test for Josh Knight as he decides to stay on his feet. Michael Smith holding it up, and now they're spreading it on the right-hand side here Wednesday. From the left to the right. Look to get the delivery in. Norris came for it and then retreated. Nathan Thompson let the ball bounce past him. And chasing it down into the final 10 minutes at Hillsborough. Reece James forward. His cross is partially blocked and then cleared over halfway by Jack Taylor. JCH is also now part of the defensive effort, so when the ball goes forward, not much there for Posh. Penalty appeal for Wednesday. A little handsy was Frankie Kent. The referee, though, wasn't up for giving anything soft and hasn't all night, to be fair. Wednesday come again, though. Long ball from Bannon. Norris has come and not got it. No foul against him either. Posh hack it clear. This is not convincing, though. With Wednesday once more. 8.5 minutes still to play, plus the added time, which could be lengthy. Wednesday again coming down this left, Posh is right, but this time Reece James has stumbled into JCH. Johnson Clark-Harris didn't really need to sell it. Free kick to Posh and a rare moment of respite. Will Norris is saying he got elbowed in that last challenge.
As goalkeeper, he's got all the advantage in the world. He should be catching that. You've got to remember, when you jump with your hands, you've got 2 feet higher than anybody else on the pitch.
He ain't the tallest, though, is he? I mean, gone are the days of Lucas Bergstrom, who, again, wasn't the most convincing in the air, but at least he had that height advantage. This last 7.5 minutes is going to be tough. Posh won't care how it plays out as long as it's they who go to Wembley. Nathan Thompson with a throw. Takes his sweet time doing it. And then almost gives the ball straight back to Wednesday as they look to counter. Thompson again wandering as he looks to take the throw. It's down the line. Ephraim Mason-Clark, all he can really do is chest the ball out of play. Wednesday ball, 7 minutes remain. Of course, in that playoff final all those years ago, in 7 minutes, Posh managed to score 3 goals against Huddersfield. 31,835 the attendance at Hillsborough. No mention of the Posh following, but they're all still there to our left, still dreaming of Wembley. As Thompson goes along with his clearance, over halfway for just a second, headed back into Posh territory. Appeals again from the Wednesday fans. The help from the rest as Ephraim Mason-Clark on a wheel for tangle. The ball has gone Posh's way. For a man so tall to actually sort of stay stride for stride with Ephraim Mason-Clark, impressive from Dominic Iorfa. Posh 5.5 plus stoppage time away from Wembley. Wednesday coming again. Smith, been a target man really. He's shown his abilities and his technique there, laying the ball off as another flood of blue and white shirts come forward. So with James on this left-hand side, good block from Kipriani, playing much this game on a booking. And once again helping Posh there. Bannon. Delivery is a poor one. Kent heads it away though, and to the feet of a Wednesday player. Sheffield to the right hand side. Patterson's cross blocked by Down. Butler. And the clearance, well, the ball from Wednesday scuffed. Posh not able to get it clear. Ephraim Mason-Clark flying in. He stopped playing, the ref hadn't blown. Wednesday still have it. Bannon laying it off to the right where Iorfa's cross is a dangerous one. Over Smith's head, no one behind him. Great
delivery from the defender. I'm surprised they didn't have more bodies in there. I really am, but it's a great delivery.
At the stage of the game as well, Sheffield Wednesday players have given everything. We've got players falling down for cramp. Iorfa on the far side, the first victim. I mean, credit to them, Franny. We mocked them, well, some of us mocked them quite a bit after last week. Some of their own fans tearing into them and mocking them, but they have given everything in this second leg.
It's an excellent performance. Just maybe that 4th goal is hopefully just a little bit of a stretch out for them. That's what you need.
Whoa, what have you said that for?
Well, that's what you hope. You hope that the 4th goal is too much of a stretch for them, don't you? You get panicking.
You didn't need to. Oh,
you get panicking.
I've been panicking for the last half hour, Francis. Is this a rare Posh breakaway? The answer's no. Jack Taylor's been dispossessed. He's then had a little nibble himself, and a second nibble, Taylor. He doesn't care. He's playing on, and so are Wednesday. They have advantage. They're on the right-hand side. Delivery blocked. Free kick. No wonder whether, yes, Jack Taylor will be booked just for having a couple of nibbles. In frustration more than anything, and it really did typify parts of Posh's performance tonight. Jack Taylor, over the last couple of games, has done nothing wrong, can do no wrong, but a couple of times tonight, his touch, his control, it's just let him down. 3 minutes as Wednesday look to throw on another body. Reece James, one of the smaller, having scored the third, comes off, and Will Vault, the midfielder that was withdrawn or removed from the first leg lineup, is thrown on. They have loads of attacking players on the field. Smith, Gregory, Windass, Patterson. And now some strange clapping starts around Hillsborough. The siege continues on Posh's area, but Ephraim Mason-Clark has an opportunity to clear. He didn't really know where to go. Eventually went backwards to Butler, who's ball forward to Kiprianou. Could have got Hector Kiprianou through, and with Taylor coming to join him, could have been a big moment that. Instead, Posh have to defend once more. Wednesday get the free kick though in the middle there. Norburn, the guilty man, very central, so it'll be difficult to create an angle on this. And Ollie Norburn, wisely, with 100 seconds of normal time remaining, goes down. But Posh once again having to defend, and this is dangerous in the fact that the central position means that Bannon will probably be aiming to either the left-hand post, the right-hand post. Posh now having to spread their defensive resources fully across the edge of their own area. As Bannon plays it short and then gets it back. That's interesting. Is he going to shoot from range? A chipped ball towards the post. It's going to fall to Vokes, who, well, I think it's his first touch, but that looked like me on the golf course. Terrible. Slices it. Norris happy to watch it go. 50 seconds of normal time on the clock. Our GoPro has now been fetched for the final moment. Callum Patterson getting the sponsors man of the match, and possibly one of the most key moments in this game for Posh is about to be answered. How much added time is to play? In truth, it could be quite lengthy given some of the stoppages we've had. Another long ball towards Posh's area. Wednesday have it on their left-hand side. The cross comes in, met by a Posh player. Schmoddick's type against Lincoln appeal for a penalty there. Ball now on the right-hand side. They're dithering a little bit. Butler's out there for Posh. The cross comes in. It's rifled towards the chest of Will Norris. Not only does he hold on, he falls to the ground. The fourth official, 6 minutes. The Wednesday fans go crazy for that. I didn't actually see the fourth official appear. Maybe he didn't want to be lynched by the home fans. 6 minutes, Franny. What do you make of that, my fan?
Probably about right. I don't think no one can complain. I think it's about right.
6 minutes from Wembley. Iorfa down again. And it is the Posh fans who are showing their support. What a following it has been. And we're very fortunate enough to travel the country with this football club, but blessed to travel with these fans. Whether it's saying hello to us, having the photos taken with people like Franny and Gabby, the half miles, the hard-earned coins that they spend. They're here again tonight. Could have watched it on the telly at home. As Aidan Flint is introduced to the action. He's a defender by trade.
But it's always going to happen. They was going to bring him on. Now they just pump the ball. But
as a centre forward for the final 5 minutes.
Yeah, always happens.
Oh my God, this is not going to be nice, is it? Remember, he scored twice against Posh. I think in the Championship it was then, as Norris's clearance is sliced into the crowd. Brace yourselves, there are 4.5 minutes at least of added time to play. It is going to be horrible as Posh try to hold on. It's towards Flint. Frankie Kent is, as you'd expect, taking ownership of him. There's also Smith in there, Gregory. As the ball comes in, Edwards gets his head on the second ball. Posh might have it on halfway here. Johnson Clark-Harris holding it up. Needs an outlet. Is that Butler stretching to keep it in? He hasn't quite managed it, but in sliding and kicking the ball as it went out of play, at least he gets it away from where it was meant to be. I made it. We've had just over 2 minutes of added time. Around 4 still to play. Wednesday with the ball. He's going to try and nick the ball past Thompson. Wasn't much he could do as the Wednesday player. Johnson kind of collapsed at his feet. It's a free kick. The ref is making sure it's close towards halfway. 3 minutes from Wembley. The Posh set up their defensive line incredibly high outside their area, and that might be Will Norris's ball. It is. He wasn't close to his teammates there. It was Marvin Johnson. Bannon normally taking the set pieces, but they wanted it to go long and direct, and Norris is milking this, as you can imagine. He's going to kick it as long as he can. There's not a Posh player near it. And actually Wednesday hoof it back towards Will Norris, who does quite well there, I think, to position his body so he can then fall on the ball very close to the edge of the area. And I don't think he planned that, but he's wasted another minute there, Norris, by hoofing it, getting it back, and he's now holding on to the ball. Aidan Flint standing in front of him. Norris goes long. JCH, the target, kind of just bounces off him. Wednesday have it back. Is this the deadly flood? No. Posh intercepting midfield. JCH has possessions. Got to find Ephraim Mason-Clark to keep Posh able to hold on to the ball. It's not going to happen. 4 minutes have now gone. And play is stopped because Johnson Clark-Harris has gone down. So I think my stopwatch is going to be a little misleading now, in the fact that I could still have a few minutes to play. Ball is thrown onto the pitch. Wednesday hit it long towards Aidan Flint. Cipriano beaten to it. Hacked away though by Frankie Kent. Ephraim Mason-Clark almost finding Taylor as Posh tried to break. Instead though, they're going to invite another wave here. On the left hand side is Johnson. Cuts infield. His chip to the back post is dangerous. Unmarked header across the face for Will Norris to collect. We still have over a minute to play. There's a Sheffield Wednesday player hiding behind the goal. A Sheffield Wednesday player, he can't hear me, I don't know why I'm shouting at him, behind the goal, and Norris has been alerted to it. And we could be less than a minute away here to the final whistle. It was never meant to be this nervy. Posh are 3-0 down at Hillsborough, and yet when the final whistle goes, there'll be pandemonium from the Posh fans. A long ball forward towards Flint, the centre-back. Uses a back heel to keep it in. Butler then gets it back to Edwards, who can clear. 5.5 minutes of added time has gone on my watch. The ref might play an added minute here because of the stoppages we've had in added time. The long ball forward is going to be Norris's ball. He's chested it down and he now jumps on it. Posh, 10 seconds remaining, but how much added time will there be? The Posh fans are waiting in anticipation. If I'm honest, they're already celebrating. Norris's long ball. We've played the 6 minutes. We have played the 6 minutes. The ball goes out of play. The referee looks at his watch. He's potentially got the whistle in his mouth. The ball is with Dawson, the goalkeeper. He's scrambling. He kicks long and he slips as he hits it. It means the ball hasn't gone as long as he would have liked. Wednesday still have it. 6.5 minutes have been played. The ball forward is for Edwards to slide in, kick the ball into the stand. 20 Surely he's looking at his watch. The referee. Oh, he's going to allow one last attack. Wednesday have a throw on the far side, level with Posh's area. It's now or never for Wednesday. The run-up is immense for this throw. In it comes. Into Posh's area, flicked on. It's running around in the area. Cleared only as far as Bannon. Johnson's going to chip it towards the back post. Wednesday head across the face of goal and score. Wednesday has scored. Wednesday has scored with probably the last kick of the game. Of normal time, it's pandemonium around us, and just as there were amazing scenes in the first leg at London Road, Sheffield Wednesday have created their own bit of glory, a miracle at Hillsborough against the Posh with a goal with the last moment of the game. We played over 7 minutes of stoppage time. It is heartbreak for the Posh, but the show goes on. 4-0 to Wednesday on the night. We are heading to extra time at Hillsborough. It's Sheffield Wednesday 4, Posh 0, and we are all square.
Speechless. It's playoffs. Absolutely speechless. We've dealt with them nearly all game, and we've got an overload, and I think it was your man Flint who headed it back in, and then it's just dropped and it's gone into the back of the net. I mean, not many people will argue with you that Sheffield Wednesday didn't deserve it, but what a way to concede a goal. It's the last kick of the game, Ben.
Well, it's not.
It's the last kick of the game. If you deal with that, you are on the way to Wembley. It's a drama of the playoffs, but wow.
And where do Posh go from here now? Seconds away from Wembley. They now potentially have another half an hour of football to play. Oh dear, oh dear. Well, the end of the 90 minutes has gone. You'd think it was the end of the tie, and you can't blame Sheffield Wednesday for celebrating. I don't need to remind you, 4-0 up was the score after the first leg. It's 4-0 in the second leg. And it's Sheffield Wednesday that have done the unthinkable. We've said time and time again, it had never been done before. And now, if I'm honest, Posh looked incredibly rattled. They are remonstrating with the ref. Where did the extra added time come? The fans at one stage almost celebrating as there's less than a minute remaining. And now we've got to gear ourselves up for extra time. Absolutely unbelievable. As well,
the Posh fans are singing that they was going up. We're going to Wembley. Should be singing that when you know there's minutes left on the clock. And now, wow.
Just the unthinkable. So just to remind you, first leg, 4-0 to Posh. Second leg, for the last kick of the game, 4-0 to Sheffield Wednesday. We'll hand back to Peter for just a moment. The show goes on.
The sound of Cambridgeshire. BBC Radio Cambridgeshire Sports.
Well, just listen. Peterborough United are in big trouble. The unthinkable has happened, and in the most heartbreaking of circumstances. Yes, we've still got extra time, but Posh have just spent the best part of an hour and a half defending. Sheffield Wednesday have just spent the best part of an hour and a half on the attack. This is going to be a huge test of character for Peterborough United. The atmosphere here is electric. Just to reiterate, no side in playoff history has ever thrown away a 4-goal lead. A 4-goal first leg lead heading into a second leg. Both sides currently in huddles, as you can imagine. the Sheffield Wednesday huddle rather more animated than the Posh huddle. The crucial fact, though, is that despite the disappointment so far this evening, Posh do still have a lifeline. They've thrown away a brilliant advantage. They're right up against it. The Hillsborough crowd are right in this. But after 2 matches, 2 full 90 minutes, we're level at 4-all. In some respects, it starts afresh. But my oh my, it is one heck of a psychological test for Posh now, a test of their mental strength. The likes of Dan Butler, Nathan Thompson, Ollie Norburn, Johnson Clark-Harris. Now is the time to step forward and really show that character. What have Peterborough United got left in the tank? It's been an amazing night, but for all of the wrong reasons. Your commentary team here on BBC Radio Cambridgeshire, half an hour to go, possibly penalties as well. Do not go anywhere. There will be further twists and turns in the story. Posh aren't out of this yet, but they've got a big job to do. Freddie Green and Ben Stevenson will be taking you through extra time.
The sound of Cambridgeshire. BBC Radio Cambridgeshire Sports.
Well, this was not the script. And quite frankly, you don't want to be too hard on the Posh players, but they look shell-shocked out there. They look absolutely shell-shocked, and they look like they might be losing it somewhat in the exchanges. You had Hector Cipriano squaring up to one Wednesday player, had to be pulled away. You had the management team berating the ref. And we're definitely in uncharted territory now. We mentioned of teams never throwing away an advantage as luxurious as Posh is. So who knows what happens now? Wednesday, of course, full of attacking players, although Flint, you can imagine, has gone from centre forward to centre back now. But what is Darren Ferguson? Well, what's going through his mind? You would love to know. Posh too have reshuffled their side, so they were playing 3 at the back, which they still are, and with limited options. It's Wednesday on the attack early doors. Delivery from the Wednesday right-hand side. Posh are going to get it clear, and then Norburn hacking it over halfway. Franny, just checking in, you're all right, buddy?
Nothing surprises me in this game.
This I must do.
No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. We've seen it so many times, the last kick of the game, but honestly, I thought they'd run out of steam. I really did. I thought that 5 would be far too much of a stretch. Last kick of the game. Last kick of the game.
Yeah, it's hard to know what to add to that.
Yeah, you don't know what to say. You really don't know what to say. But all of a sudden now, what you want? You want Wednesday to think the job's done, but they're not. You want them to think, oh, the job's done. We've done the hard part. But it's just been absolutely relentless. Relentless for 90 minutes. Relentless.
Watching City against Real Madrid yesterday, and
definitely gave them a boost, and I'm sure that would have definitely came up in the team talk. I know, and what they'll say is, if elite players can do it, there's no reason why you can't do it. Where's the work rate? But they've been relentless, and we have defended.
Long throw and a chance. It is blocked. The long throw has caused all sorts of problems. In it comes once more, headed away. Johnson Clark-Harris getting the flick. Barry Bannon though collecting. It's been recycled to the left-hand side. The cross has come in, and that was a cheeky attempt, almost a flick as it fell behind Smith. Norris equal to it, and Posh are calling for their own reinforcements now. The speedster Ricky J. Jones about to enter the fray, and if you have played 90 minutes of football, as Sheffield Wednesday's backline will have done, probably the player you don't want to be seeing coming onto the field, Ricky J. Jones. Edwards going long for Posh. They've now collected it in Wednesday territory, and then unfortunately can't quite keep it in. 4-0 up and you messed it up is the family-friendly version of the chant being directed at the Posh fans, as Hector Kiprianou is going to be withdrawn for Ricky J. Jones to come on. Could be as simple this then as a 3-4-3 for Posh, with Taylor joining Norburn. From Mason Clark, JCH and Jones going to be the front line. But who knows, you might have just brought on the player who makes the impact.
You can see why he's brought him on. Needs some fresh legs because very, very tired. You know, they've been chasing shadows for the whole game, 96 minutes. So hopefully Ricky, you know, he's got a fresh set of heels on. He can obviously try and get forward, but Wednesday have dominated the ball so much this game. We've hardly had any opportunity to get anybody in the game.
Chance for Wednesday as the header comes in across the goal and Thompson recovers well. Another delivery, Kent there to head it away. And Posh living on the edge. Well. What have we had? 4 minutes, have we? Looked over at the clock thinking we might be near half-time. No. Delivery coming in again to Posh's area. Kent again winning the header. But there's not been much change to the flow of the game. It's Wednesday attack after attack after attack. Posh having to defend once more. The run-up from Volks for this throw is a lengthy one. He's used the towel. In it goes, like a torpedo. Posh managed to do with it on this occasion, and Jones it is who can hack it clear, but this is all it is. It's a momentary respite before another wave and wave of attack. Posh in their own half and managed to get it clear. JCH's ball forward needs to be a little bit more accurate than that. Wednesday coming now as they attack down the left-hand side. Nathan Thompson defends well. And the ball actually ricocheting into Ricky J. Jones's path. Manages to just smack it off one of Wednesday players who'll take the throw. And a rare chance for Posh just to get up the field. Absolute pure joy it was to commentate on the Posh last week. Not so much at the moment, but they are battling and they have possession. It's with Edwards. He's up to halfway on the left-hand side of the back three. Norburn now on the bill, and now Posh, as they did at times in the first half, being pushed back by Wednesday. Had a few chances in the first half of this tie to kill the game, and like Wednesday in the first leg, didn't take them. Had chances to add a fifth in the first leg, actually. But Posh, for a spell of a good 60 seconds, have had their best passing exchanges. Josh Knight now coming up on the right-hand side. His ball to Thompson is awful, though. Wednesday get possession back. Really annoying, that. Probably the closest we've seen to Posh's first leg style of play, and it's wasted. Posh had possession back, though. Norburn on halfway. Gets a late tackle from Smith. The referee gives the free kick.
It's calmed down a little bit from the Wednesday players. They look like they're having a breather, and we've allowed them to get on the ball and move the ball a little bit. But then we're just as tired, if not even more, because believe me, it's a lot harder mentally and physically when you're chasing the ball than rather when you've got the ball. You tend to forget about the hard work when you've got the ball. But when you are getting sloppy, give the ball away.
Oh dear, Wednesday have it. Gregory on the edge of the area. Frankie Kent says, "You shall not pass." Lovely tackle. And at a key moment as well. Posh cannot afford to give Wednesday any help. Butler now fouled. Free kick for Posh. We've played 8 minutes of extra time.
It's going very, very slow. Very, very slow.
Understatement. You're probably, if you're just joining us, wondering, extra time? Oh, and you'd be right. Posh have taken their full goal advantage from the first leg and had it wiped out in the most dramatic of fashions. Now Ricky J. Jones has used his pace there to get on the end of that ball and has received a kick to the head as Alpha tried to clear his lines. So free kick for Posh because of the high boot and kick to the face. Booking, well, it was actually in Hekwe, wasn't it? Jones still down in some discomfort. He might have a bruise in the morning, but he might have made the ultimate sacrifice for his side there. He's won a free kick. He's got the centre-back booked. And a chance for Posh to deliver. And who knows? Maybe get an advantage of a kind back. (4-0) to Sheffield Wednesday if you're just joining on BBC Radio Cambridgeshire. 4-4 on aggregate. Jack Taylor with a free kick here. Lofted over, headed away by Wednesday. It might fall for Banham. No, Taylor's back to pick it up. Finds Edwards. Back to Taylor. Posh having to try and pass their way out of trouble, but every pass they make, another Wednesday player pops up like a whack-a-mole. And now Josh Knight having to ride his luck a little bit. He plays it down the line. Good move this from Posh, and then Thompson draws a foul. The old Thompson flop, as it's been known. And one of the Wednesday players on the far side fancies a break. We've spent practically the whole playoff semi-final, it seems, in a state of shock, whether it's been that Posh were causing so much destruction in the first leg, and now this second leg, we can't believe that they've let that advantage slip. Franny, it feels, though, as if both sides have given so much that...
the energy's been zapped, yeah. You can really feel it. I mean, even the crowd, you can feel the crowd are very, very now. It's like, well, you know, you did all that hard work to get here now, and, you know, after all that, it still feels like 0-0. We've got to start again. It's absolutely crazy. And you can feel it in the stadium. You know, they've all their energy's gone out of it, and they're not putting any balls into the box as such as much, and maybe they're having a breather. And then what you'll see in the second half of the extra time is you normally start to then see a little another blast before they go. But extra time at this tempo, this hard work. And now the fans have just heard me, and now they've livened up, so hopefully it doesn't liven their players up.
Still missing nothing on the pitch. Wednesday making a change here. One of them forced by looks of by injury. Jaden Brown coming on. And to be fair, it did look like Patterson, who's limped off on the far side, was limping before extra time got underway. Posh on the attack. It's on this left-hand side with Darren Butler, a half-time substitute. He's got Ephraim Mason-Clark inside. Norburn working the ball to Taylor. He's going to shoot at range, but he's closed down by Barry Banham, who is running around like a madman, not like a 33-year-old. He's found energy from nowhere. And Wednesday come again. Posh have it in their own half at the feet of Ollie Norburn, with the longest he's played in a very long time. As Thompson once again drawing the foul. I mean, it's probably not the time for this kind of questioning, Franny, but I'm going there. Thompson's played so well since coming on. Was there an argument to say he should have been starting in the first place? Hindsight, a glorious thing, but
I mean, we don't know how fit he was before the game, do we really?
No, but his performance would say he's looking good.
Yeah, like you say, he's done his job. He's been solid. It's not changed much in the rhythm of the game, that's for sure. But like you say, if he's fit enough to, if he's fit enough to come on, then you know he's fit enough to start, and then drag him after 50 minutes if he blows up, you know.
Maybe that was the danger. That this scenario, you would have been putting a more attacking option on. And Posh now do have a dangerous free kick. This on the right-hand side. Josh Knight was getting forward from the back. Looked like Michael Smith pulled him back. I say it looked like it, blatantly did. So, but a free kick for Posh on the far side. The round of applause you are hearing, I think, was from Marvin Johnson, the gentleman who was brought off a moment ago. He's just limped his way around half the pitch. 98th minute goal from Liam Palmer has taken this game to extra time. 25 shots Sheffield Wednesday have had. Still don't believe it. Is this Posh's moment, though, on the far side?
Got to get a decent chance to drop our way. I don't think we've had a decent chance, would you say?
Well, Poku early doors, but that felt like a lifetime ago. As the delivery comes in, and it's found the back of the net! No idea how it's got there, but Posh have steered it in extra time. They celebrate in the corner. Butler's delivery somehow in the back of the net. And the thousands of Posh fans who came in hope to Hillsborough are celebrating once again. Nathan Thompson's been credited with a goal. What an amazing impact he may have had on this game. Sheffield Wednesday still lead on the night by 4-1, but on aggregate, it's the Posh who are back on front, 4-5.
Well, there's that half a chance that we said we needed, and that's the one that's gone in the back of the net. I still think everybody needs to, a little bit calm at the moment, because this is far from over. Far from over.
Two minutes of added time will be played at the end of the first half of extra time. This is so Peterborough United, isn't it?
We just needed that one chance just before we took the free kick. We've not had one half-decent chance. And that, it's not even a decent chance, it's just a decent delivery. They've switched off, and we've got an opportunity. And that's all you need. That is all you need sometimes. We've got to switch on even more now.
No one had given away a 4-goal advantage in the playoffs. Posh said, hold my beer. And they're not happy there either. They're carrying on going. They're now going ahead in extra time. Wednesday, as you can imagine, on the attack once more. On the far side, the Thompson flop coming out in a big way here. And I feel for Nathan Thompson. Grant McCann didn't fancy him. It's taken at times Darren Ferguson a bit of time to convincing, and he's the kind of go-to guy to send out to speak to the press time and time again when it's maybe not going well for Posh. Hope we get to speak to him tonight about the impact he has had. I mean, it probably won't go down as a amazing goal for Posh to get the winner. It may even go down as an own goal, but Posh don't care. Nathan Thompson doesn't care. I doubt Darren Ferguson does. Posh just need to get to this half-time break now. Again, the Posh fans going wild. I can see men have gone topless. They're using their shirts as, I don't know, sort of fans above their heads to keep cool. The half-time whistle goes. And effectively, there is 15 minutes remaining. The advantage to Peterborough United now is a 1 goal. And having seen a 4-goal lead slip, remarkably, once again, Posh have refused to read the script and now lead by 5-4 on aggregate.
The sound of Cambridgeshire. BBC Radio Cambridgeshire Sports.
Well, you are listening to BBC Radio Cambridgeshire, and our half-time break in extra time is just a small one, so we will continue and we will get the thoughts of Francis Green. My friend, you have got to be the coolest cucumber there is in this ground. I can't believe what I'm seeing. I can't quite keep up with keep my breath and my nerves together. But Franny, tell us what you're thinking. You look calm as you like. Why is it in this Posh scene?
Well, I said we needed an opportunity. We've not had real one before the game. Poku, half chance. Mason, half chance. But other than that, we've not had any sniff whatsoever. And sooner or later, a chance was probably going to come. And we said that just before the free kick. We've not really had a chance. We got one. They've switched off. We've managed to get a decent delivery, get the ball in the back of the net. And now all of a sudden, let's see the reaction of these Wednesday players, because they've put so much into this game to get to 4-4. And like I said, did they think that the job was done? And then the Posh players just continue what they did, and they got that. I wouldn't even say, look, it's a good delivery, it's a good finish in the end. It's simple as that.
Well, I think it's going to go down as an OG for poor Lee Gregory.
I wouldn't want to be Gregory, that's for sure, because he won't forget that for the rest of his life. But like I say, advantage Posh now. And listen, the reason I'm calm, I always say it, and I tell you, it only takes a second to score a goal, and it only takes a second to concede a goal. And that's why I've always kept that from the coaches that we had. They said that, and that's why you never give up, and that's why you continue to believe in yourself and in a team, and you got to do the basics. Sheffield Wednesday did the basics for 96 minutes. They didn't, and they've conceded, and now we're ahead of the game. So we just got to, what you got to do is keep nullifying. What you can't do, and what we kept doing, is giving the ball away in dangerous parts of the pitch, which allowed them to put the ball into areas we do not feel comfortable doing. We know we're not great at set pieces. We know we're not great when the balls are put into the box. And you can't do that now. You've got 15 minutes where your backs are going to be against the wall. They're going to get another 10-15%. This crowd's going to liven up. Hopefully some of them have either left or gone to sleep.
The second half of extra time underway, by the way, and Posh have a free kick early doors. You might have heard the cry from Josh Knight. He might be over-egging it slightly. I don't think the referee falling for it on this occasion. Posh have already shown a 1-goal advantage with 15 minutes to play is not enough. Let's hope at the second time of asking they can see this game out. As Josh Knight once again sends it long, too long, down Butler, contending for it, but it's over his head. And will be Wednesday ball once more, notably quieter than it was earlier this evening. Sheffield Wednesday fans getting upset, not with their team, but with the officials. Ricky J. Jones already doing his bit, winning a free kick, and now running around using his pace to try and put the Wednesday players under pressure. Norburn now focusing to him. Might fall for Ephraim Mason-Clark. He goes down, but the referee says no. Francis Green.
He's pulled him back. He's pulled him back. He's made a mistake. He's pulled him back.
The Posh bench are furious.
It's a fight. It's a free kick, and should be a red, shouldn't it? If it's the last man.
How could he not give it?
Well, the ref's on the other side, but the linesman is our side. So I don't know how the linesman's not seen that. I really, really don't know how the linesman's not seen that.
Well, if that comes back to bite Posh's backside, boy, will we have some talking points. It's Wednesday on the attack now, and that is me on the golf course right there. Brown looking to deliver it into the 6-yard area. It's actually gone behind Norris's goal. And the replays, actually, we can, if I'm cheeky enough, can just have a look over the shoulder. It looks like a stone waller. It's not in the area. It is outside, but then you've got to think, as Franny said, the man's got to go. Wednesday down to 10 men. Lee Gregory being taken off. And is that Jack Hunt coming on? Which means I can finally make, I've been waiting for this, my Peterborough school joke. Jack Hunt coming on there, but Arthur Mellows not required at this stage. Franny, that's gone over your head. Nathan Alban, educated in Peterborough, giving me the glare that joke was worth. Fair play, Nathan.
Yeah, over my head.
It was a school called... I won't.
Yeah.
Anyway, Posh with Ricky J. Jones. He thought he was playing on there and had already beaten his man. Again, the referee disagrees. The Posh management team are apoplectic with rage. In fact, they're in constant conversation with the fourth official. Free kick for Wednesday then is taken by the goalkeeper and then hacked away by Jack Taylor as it falls on the edge of the area. If you're joining us, we're in extra time. No, we weren't expecting it either, as Posh struggle on the edge of their own area. Smith, with the heavy touch though, has allowed Edwards to nip in, and as he does, he wins the foul. I mean, it's never convincing, is it? But credit to Posh at the moment, because they're having everything thrown at them and they're kind of dealing with it. And Aidan Flint is switching from centre-back to centre-forward at regularity, as Will Norris is given a talking to by the goalkeeper. So it's 4-1 on the night. It was 4 apiece on aggregate. And Posh have scored in extra time. It's gone down as an own goal. So we are Sheffield Wednesday 4, Peterborough United 5 on aggregate. And there is just over 10 minutes remaining. And Johnson Clark-Harris has been given a free kick, which has been rare tonight. What a tussle he has had with Heckway. And on that occasion, JCH given the decision. Posh have a free kick, but they look very reticent, Franny, to commit men forward here.
Oh, no, I won't be putting anyone forward.
No?
You've got to manage the game now. You've got to be smart. You've got to keep the ball as much as you can. You can't just throw 50-50 balls, because you've got half a chance of winning it. You've got to keep the ball. You're in control of the game.
Another Thompson flop, beautifully executed. Oh, this is classic Thompson. Nathan Thompson there, falling on the ball. The referee gives it. I'm not saying it wasn't a foul, but there is a kind of art to the way he staggers his fall. So if the ref was contemplating it by the time he's actually on the floor and the player has gone through him, well, you've got to give it. And it's that experience that is helping Posh here. Now, Dan Butler's got the free kick. It does suit a left footer. He's going to go for goal, is he? Or chipping it to the back post. It's far too close for Dawson. Posh have players forward here. Ricky J. Jones cleverly just standing in front of the goalie. JCH then takes over, and like a pair of bouncers, they've done a cracking job there. The breakaway, not really an option, as the ball falls for Wednesday in Posh's half. 8.5 minutes remain. Brown then squaring it. Chance, second attempt, it's going to be tucked away. Wednesday have another equaliser. Hillsborough breaks out in pandemonium once more. And Posh had a couple of opportunities to clear, but in the end, poked home at these second attempts. This game will not die, and it will not go in Posh's favour. And aggregate now, it is Sheffield Wednesday 5, Peterborough United 5.
Well, for the neutral, it's game of the season, let's be honest, for the neutral, but when we're sat here now, I mean, I don't know how long I can stay this cool for. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. You know, the worst thing about that, he's had an opportunity, we blocked it, he's then had another opportunity, and I think his toe pokes it in, it's gone in. Oh, honestly, it's one of those where words can't even describe, because the players are that tired, there's that much going on. honestly, I'm lost for words. I am lost for words at times, because it's harsh to start saying maybe players should have done this or maybe players done that. They're on their last legs, Ben. You know how hard this is for them players to be continue to going at this time, and how much effort from both teams they put in. It's hard to criticise people making mistakes because they're so tired, and they put on an unbelievable show, both teams. But it's just unfortunate again that you've allowed them to get into the game. What you can't do now is kind of get your heads down. You just can't, and give them any sort of momentum.
You're listening to BBC Radio Cambridgeshire live from Hillsborough, where it's one of the most remarkable games of football over 2 legs you will ever see. And of course the Posh are involved. And I think most of us would take penalties in a heartbeat at this stage. But Posh still have just over 6 minutes remaining of extra time, plus the added time that they were unable to see out last time. Hillsborough rocking again. Diagonal ball towards Posh's area. They will get the chance to get it clear, but it's going to come straight back at them. Bannon lays it out to the left. Palmer cutting infield. Little dinked ball for Johnson Clark-Harris to header away, but Wednesday are going to have an opportunity to swing it in again from the right-hand side. The header towards goal is just wide of the post. We are talking inches. How are Posh surviving? We have 5.5 minutes remaining, and with the very tips of their fingernails, Peterborough United are clinging on. It is still 5-5. And Wednesday are not done. They keep going. What tension we have. The ball goes long into Wednesday territory. The tussle is between Smith and Edwards. Smith backing in. Edwards pulling the shirt, and the referee rules in favour of the home side. It will be another free kick. Bannon stands over it once more. 4.5 minutes of usual time, normal time remain. Not sure if we can take this as Bannon chips it in. It's a poor ball, to be fair. Norris will collect, and he's in no hurry. Well, I say that. Frankie Kent tells him to get on with it, and out he rolls it to Josh Knight. I think we're all a little surprised by that one, because not sure what Posh's game plan other now than hit it long to Ricky J. Jones, and that's what he did. Didn't really work out, so they're going to invite the pressure back on them. That felt a little strange, Franny, that Posh weren't being a bit wiser with just less than 4 minutes remaining.
Yeah, but the problem is it's a gamble. It's a lottery when you go to penalties. Do they really want the lottery?
Well, they're under attack again. In comes the delivery, not the best, and Norris claims. I fear it's their best option at the minute, Franny. You take the coin flip of a penalty shootout. As Norris rolls it out to the left-hand side for Dan Butler to take down. He plays it infield. Ephraim Mason-Clark. He goes down the line. Ricky J. Jones enters the area. A tackle comes in. Wednesday have defended that well. It is a crucial tackle. But Posh have a corner.
Anything can happen. I'd get the bodies in the box, to be honest. I know some people would say, you know, don't commit, but I would get the bodies in the box.
Yeah, definitely. Thompson, Knight.
Yeah, you got to go for it. You've got to get, there's no point in waiting and gambling on penalties. You've got to go and try and win the game.
Well, Wednesday aren't leaving anyone back. Ronnie Edwards has his hands on his knees. He looks absolutely shattered. He stayed back for the Posh. Who else we got? Norburn on the edge of the area. He's free if they want to play it along the floor. Posh are crowding the areas it comes in. It's headed away. It falls to Ollie Norburn. His shot is blocked. Butler then heads it back towards the area. It's cleared. Edwards, the last man, the sweeper if you will, takes it down, and Josh Knight's on the right wing. Josh Knight's just going to hoof it in. It's headed away. Knight though picks it up. A Wednesday player is down and unable. Wednesday fans want the ball kicked out of play. Some of us are trying to work here, man. Posh play on. Flick towards Knight. The ball headed away though from where Posh wants it. Wednesday will clear their lines. And they might even get an own breakaway themselves. They're down the left-hand side, Sheffield Wednesday. In comes the tackle. Well timed by Jack Taylor. We have bodies falling to the ground everywhere. Mainly cramp. And these two teams have given it their all. But there are half a dozen, Edwards included for Posh, who need some sort of medical assistance here. And with, what are we, 65 seconds away from the end of extra time. Let's just go to pens, but Wednesday are coming forward once more. Windass to Brown. Surely not again here for Posh at the very end. They've stopped the cross coming in. Ricky J. Jones has collected it, and he's just running at Wednesday players as eventually he's brought down. He got as far as halfway, and we have 35 seconds remaining of extra time. Francis Green, you ever been involved in a penalty shootout?
Not of any significance, no. I don't think I have. And I wouldn't want to be either, I've got to be honest.
Would you be one of those? Would you say, no, thank you, I'm out?
Yeah. I've got to admit, I'm not going to say now I'll be one of the first ones, probably at my age now. But when I was playing, no, it was one of those. And some people say, well, why don't strikers want to take penalties? It's just all about that environment. It's a very, very different mindset, approach, psychology. It's not like in a game. It's not instinctive. You've got so much time to think about, and it's a skill. It's an art.
Well, we might just be seeing one of our penalty takers actually for Posh being announced before the end of the game, because Posh, with 1 minute of added time to play, have taken off Ephraim Mason-Clark. They are going to bring on Kabongo Chimanga. I mean, talk about pressure. Is he now etching his name on the penalty takers list? Just 1 minute of added time to play, and we've had 20 seconds of it, unless the referee decides to be generous as he was at the end of normal time. 30 seconds, we think, around that remain. Frankie Kent going along for one last opportunity for Posh, headed away by Wednesday. Volks is just going to drill that as far as he can. Michael Smith giving chase. Josh Knight there for Posh, and Knight just got pummeled to the ground by Smith. And that, ladies and gentlemen, might be that. Posh had a free kick, do they? Which you imagine, once it is taken, will be the end. And we are going to penalties. Norris takes the free kick, the whistle goes, and Peterborough United will need to win a penalty shootout to stay in the playoffs and make it to Wembley. Unbelievable with even at this stage this evening, but after 90 minutes at London Road and 120 minutes at Hillsborough, the aggregate score is 5 apiece, which means it's time for the dreaded spot kicks. Well. Such times Such heroes have to step forward. Who will it be for Posh? We are about to find out.
Incredible. What an incredible night for Peterborough United. Not the sort of remarkable, amazing evening that we'd signed up for, but you better believe it. Football, what a game. Posh down and out at full time after normal time. Sheffield Wednesday with all of the momentum, but then they ran out of steam and Posh got back in front. How did that happen? Wednesday then equalising, and Francis Green, penalty kicks to decide who heads to Wembley. The stakes couldn't be much higher.
No, and there's a lot of players out of there that have gave every single inch, and this is what they train for every day. You know, playing full 90 minutes is hard enough, then playing extra time in the emotions with this stadium, the occasion, and then you've got to take a penalty as well. I mean, it's hard to describe what's going through these players' minds. Some of them will be having cramp, they'll be shattered. And now they've got to refocus and try and have a one-on-one duel, mind games with a goalkeeper and whoever, a penalty taker. I mean, the playoffs is all about drama, and no one can say tonight has not been one of those games. And it'll go down in history, one of these games, of course, because obviously Wednesday clawing it back, it'll go down in history. Let's just hope that the history is on Posh side.
To what degree then, with the penalty shootout, we know Sheffield Wednesday have the more expensively assembled squad, they have the deepest squad, if we're being honest, they have the better quality players, the 96 points shows that. To what degree is it about your technical ability as a player, and to what degree is it about character and heart and dealing with the pressure?
Yeah, all the other stuff goes out the window. It's all about who has the mindset to decide where they're going to put the ball and don't let anything. Actually, you know, the top athletes and the Ivan Tonys of this world, they withdraw themselves from the stadium, they withdraw themselves from the environment, and they just see it as, this is what I need to do at this moment in time. And it's a very hard skill. It's a very, very hard skill, and that's why even in world football there isn't many world-class penalty takers. So these boys today, I've got to be honest, it's one of those where you want to be in that situation because you can be a hero, but the consequences of not being a hero live with you forever. So fair play to the boys that step up in this pressure situation at the age and the stage that they're on their career. Fair play to them. But the ones that will be successful, the ones that are really can just bring that calmness all the way back, universally centre themselves, and that's what it is. Whoever remains calm and believes in themselves will put the ball in the back of the net.
And just quickly, Kabi Shamanga coming on at the last has barely featured for Posh. Echoes of England against Italy at Euro 2020 when the subs were brought on and both missed. Would you feel comfortable with him basically taking a penalty his very first touch in the game?
No, and I think you've got to put him on with maybe 5-10 minutes left for him to run around and get a touch of that football. I think he had one touch. And I think I don't like it. That's my personal opinion. I don't like it. I think you should bring players on with a little bit more time for them to get into the game, because this environment here for him now, if he has been brought on just to take a penalty, well, he's either unbelievable at penalties, and that's why we've probably brought him on, or is cooler than I've been during this game, and he'll be all right.
Yeah, nerves of steel. It will be interesting to see whether he is among the first 5 penalty takers. OK, we're ready to go. It's been a night full of drama, but we've got more drama coming right up. A penalty shootout to decide. Is it Peterborough United? Is it Sheffield Wednesday who'll be heading to Wembley?
And so the scene is set, and unfortunately these penalties will be taken in front of the Sheffield Wednesday dominated stands.
Was this Smith?
It is Michael Smith.
Well, he's already taken one,
underway.
so now the mind games will start. Will he go the same way? Will he change? And when you've already scored a penalty already in the game, you know, it's all about mental battle. Does he go the same way or does he change? I'm actually glad he's taking the first penalty.
Here he comes, Michael Smith, standing still, as is Will Norris, and he slots it calmly into the back of the net.
Gone the same direction as well.
Well, Norris is close to it, not close enough, and here comes Johnson Clark-Harris. A little key for you when you hear a cheer. Good news for Sheffield Wednesday. And if there is a silence, it probably means good news for Posh, but this is pressure. This is real pressure. JCH, well, thousands upon thousands of people boo at you. They've got their camera phones on behind the goal. Cameron Dawson with the Mind Games 2 on the 6-yard box in front of JCH. Now he touches the crossbar to make the whole goal wobble. JCH for Posh, it's just snuck in. Goalie got a hand to it. JCH's power, though, enough to take it in after one penalty each. Both teams have scored, and it is one apiece. Wednesday with the second penalty. They do the really annoying thing where they've got stripes, and it's hardly impossible to tell what the number is on the back of the shirt. Looks a clean shirt. Is it Volks? For Wednesday, the sub.
Yeah, I think it's Volks.
He's calm as you like, and he's down the middle with power. Norris again close, but couldn't get to it, and it will be 2-1 to Wednesday as Dan of Butler springs forward for Posh. I mentioned earlier, Butler, a mental giant really, a mentality monster if Jurgen Klopp was going to describe him. But once again, this is huge. This is a massive pressure. Dawson again greets him on the edge of his 6-yard area. Butler with hands on hips. Approaches it with his left foot. He's hit the crossbar. Down Butler hits the crossbar. Advantage Sheffield Wednesday. They lead by 2-1. No problem with the way he hit it, but it hits the crossbar. It's advantage ours. 2-1 up after both teams have taken 2 penalties. Will Norris personally delivering the ball for Barry Banham, and now maybe, just maybe, getting involved in the mind games.
Well, even though technically he's good, I have seen him miss them, and that's down to the fact that is he mentally ripe to take penalties at certain times. We know his techniques during the game. Let's hope that he's not.
He's got the same stance as Butler, going at it left-footed with hands on hips. Here he comes, a short run-up, and he has sent Will Norris the wrong way. It is 3-1 for Sheffield Wednesday. Posh just need to save one of the last 2 and be faultless. And this is the swagger of Ollie Norburn coming up for the Posh. Number 18. Can't really afford to miss. It would mean Wednesday scored their 4th. It would be game over. And Peterborough United have it all to do now. Norburn. Got his back,
got to put his foot through it. He's just got to put his foot through it, Ben. Don't overthink it. Put your foot through it.
A fancy run up, and he drills it straight down the middle. The goalkeeper, I thought, had saved it with his legs. Somehow it ends up in the back of the net. A terrible run up, a terrible penalty, but it's gone in.
Yep, and a little bit of luck.
I don't know what he was doing. It was like Ringa Ringa Rosie. He turned his back, he ran.
He just decided I'm not going to overthink this, and I'm just going to run and hit it. And, you know, it's gone in. Doesn't matter how they get in, Ben.
It's 3-2 to Wednesday. This won't clinch it for them. But Norris needs to save this or the last. Come on, William Norris.
Get near one.
It's taken. He sends Norris the wrong way. And Sheffield Wednesday have been faultless. 4 from 4. And
Chimanga.
This is massive pressure on Kabongo Chimanga. He replaced Jack Marriott in the transfer window. This league campaign, he has made 8 substitute appearances. If he misses this, it will be Sheffield Wednesday who go to Wembley. He must score. Stewards are poised on the pitch, almost guarding the players. Some fans running on. The Posh fans look on nervously. Kabongo Chimanga has the weight of the PE postcode on his shoulders. And how will this young 25-year-old deal with it? He starts his run-up. It's a short one. He sends the ball into the bottom of the corner. He has done his bit for the Posh. They remain 1 goal behind with 1 penalty each to play. It means that if Sheffield Wednesday score this,
He's got to save it. He has to save.
the tie is over. Pressure on Will Norris.
Who is it? Windass? No. Can't see from here. No.
Tough, isn't it, to tell with the
I can't see from here.
with those letterings on the back of the shirt.
Hunt.
It's Jack Hunt.
Come on.
Must score for Wednesday. He sends it in the top corner. And in the most dramatic of fashions, Peterborough United's playoff dreams end in tatters. The crowd is on the pitch here at Hillsborough. There's nothing stopping them rushing onto the field, and who can blame them? They have witnessed history here tonight. No side has come back from a 4-0 deficit from the first leg until now, and of course it is Peterborough United who will be the victims and create the worst kind of history. Moments away from glory. Sheffield Wednesday scored the equalising goal with the last kick of normal time. Posh wriggled themselves back in front, only to be pinned back again. And then on penalties, it's Wednesday's triumph as Dan Butler rattles the crossbar. And now the green turf of Hillsborough is awash with dancing Sheffield Wednesday fans. And for Peterborough United, over to our left, just a few Posh fans remain, shocked, unable to comprehend what they have seen as joyous scenes take place around us. So many questions to answer now. How did Posh let what looked like an unassailable lead slip? And what will happen to so many of these Posh players? Is it the final game that we have seen for so many of them? And what now for Darren Ferguson? All questions to be answered once we have recovered from what has been an amazing 2 legs of football. Unfortunately, he's just gone against Posh tonight, and on aggregate 5 apiece, and on penalties, crucially, it's Wednesday who have hit 5 again. Posh 3 from their 4. It ends in defeat here at Hillsborough as the Wednesday fans celebrate.
The sound of Cambridgeshire. BBC Radio Cambridgeshire Sports.
Unbelievable. Utterly unbelievable. A phrase that is overused in football. But if we can treat ourselves to a bit of a cliche this evening, an unbelievable match, an unbelievable tie. Peterborough United 4-0 up, dominant, and this evening blown away by Sheffield Wednesday. Right at the last, on penalties. Right at the last, after 90 minutes, the final kick of normal time. The final kick of the 90 minutes, and Sheffield Wednesday level at 4-4. Posh then getting themselves back in front, only to concede again, by which time they were looking exhausted. Then when it goes to penalties, it's all about who holds their nerve. Dan Butler striking the bar, and that proves to be the difference. We've got a sea of flailing arms in front of us at Hillsborough. The Posh players having made a sharp exit as it's party time for Sheffield Wednesday and their fans. We'll have a chat with Franny Green in just